everyone, and welcome to the Deathy's Death Slam 3rd edition North America. Really excited to have you guys here. So quick little intro for some of you who may not be familiar with what is Deathy's Death Slam is essentially we have this event where, you know, this is the biggest one we've had ever, and I'll get into the numbers in a second, but the event is all about having competition for the not pro players, right? So anybody that's, you know, below Eternus, essentially. We don't have any Eternus players in the tournament, but we have players from the ranks all the way down to Initiate, all the way up to Ascendant, right? So we've got a lot of different ranks, a lot of different representation. And the way that it works is individuals signed up to the tournament, and then we put them in a team. So we created a total of 44 teams. We had almost 500 signups, so it was our biggest ever. And so we created 4 divisions. And the rough outline, I don't have the exact ranks because there's obviously some variability, right? But the rough outline is Division 4 is around Initiate, Seeker, Alchemist. Division 3 is around Arcanist, Ritualist. Division 2 is Emissary, Archon, roughly. And Division 1 is Oracle, Phantom, and some low Ascendant players, I believe. And so there's going to be a lot of matches being played today. This is the Swiss stage, the first day. And so basically the way that Swiss stage works, for those that don't know, is teams are going to play each other based on their record. So all teams start 0-0. The first matchup is randomized. And then the teams that are 1-0 are going to play the teams that are 1-0, so on and so forth. And all the teams are only playing the teams within the same division, right? And each division has a prize pool. So the $2,700 prize pool that we mentioned is split across all 4 divisions. So the prize pool per player that wins, it's winner takes all per division. So it's not that high, but still incredibly exciting. Just to give you guys some numbers, and then after that I'll be done with my intro. But we had, like I said, 44 teams. That's a total of 264 players that are playing in this tournament, which is just a kind of an absurd amount to think about. We've got 14 coaches as well that are helping all the teams, right? So that's also a lot of coaches. You know, all Eternus 6 players are like very high ranked players with a lot of experience helping these teams kind of develop, become better players, etc. All for free, you know, for 2 hours per team. Ton of time dedicated. And then, you know, obviously a huge team of volunteers behind the scene. You know, Tempo and Mox here being volunteers as well, and generously donating their time, as well as we have admins behind the scene. You know, we've got my co-founders. There's so many people to thank. And of course, our generous sponsors. You know, for the first time ever, we are sponsored by not 1, but 2 sponsors. We have Metal, who you can use to clip your cool moments in game, right? You can type !metal, go check out their website if you're not familiar with them. And we've got Corsair, who is sponsoring a giveaway section, which, you know, more to come later in the stream, but make sure to stick around so that you know the rules for the giveaway and how to enter and all that stuff, because you could win some free gear. Anyhow, that was very long. Are you guys excited for today?
Super pumped, ready to go. I remember starting in the first DDS, and it was just a lot of nerves on the line and just like super ready to like start playing. So I'm sure Tempo felt the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I participated in the EU version of the DDS when that was a thing. And I mean, that was also a great experience. I met some people that I still consider friends today. And yeah, it was a great experience.
Yeah, and so, you know, you can see it right here. Tempo and Mox were both kind of like, I guess, you know, brought up in the ecosystem that we're trying to create, and we're really trying to make it so players can come here, you know, grow as players, as people, and kind of like get involved in Deadlock. So if you're interested in joining the ecosystem, you can type !DDS. I'll do it in the chat for you guys as well. But, you know, we've got a website, we've got a Discord, you know, join the Discord, check it out. It's a great time. We just recently launched pickup games for people who just want an alternative to matchmaking to play and stuff like that. But anyhow, today we will be starting to cover with, I believe, Division 3. So for the schedule for today, just so you guys know, there's going to be 3 games covered on this stream, 3 games covered on the B stream. B stream, I will put a pinned comment on Twitch, but it's twitch.tv/DeathSlamEvents. And we will be covering Division 3, then Division 2, then Division 1. So the last match of the day will be kind of the highest ranked players. And B stream will be starting with Division 4. So if you're interested in seeing, you know, how the initiates play the game competitively, which I think I'm personally quite interested. I had my coaching session with my initiate team yesterday. I'm extremely confident in them, right? So I hope that they win because I gave them all the trade secrets. But they're cooking up some stuff. And I think everybody's going to want to see kind of the lower ranks because it's incredibly entertaining. Sure, it's different from watching Buff Enjoyers versus Abrahams for the 15th time in a row, but it does give you that kind of sense of entertainment and just great, you know, great value at home. So that's our schedule for today. Is there anything that you guys are kind of like, I wonder if we'll see this hero played or this kind of strategy used at these ranks?
There's definitely some like fun niche stuff that always comes out. We talked about it very briefly, especially with the adjustments to Viper, but characters like Viper and McGinnis, where you don't usually see them by pros or in upper divisions like very frequently, a lot of these lower division players will be either mains of this character or like really high in a comp sense. So I think we'll see a lot of really fun things, but maybe even some higher skill. I wonder if any of these players have a Sinclair maybe in their pocket. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's
What
a
about
lot
you,
of
Tempo?
it's a lot of like hero pool based gameplay I'm expecting here in the lower divisions as we start off. I mean, a lot of these players are not gonna know what the high level players are gonna be doing for the meta and what they consider strong. They're gonna base this off their own matchmaking experience, right? A lot of the time, and off their own hero pools. What do they play? What can like work well into their comp that they actually play?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of comfort. Like these players, you know, they're not pro players. The hero pools are limited. I personally have worked with all of the teams that I'm coaching to kind of develop a drafting strategy that is, you know, around their skill and around their, you know, ideal heroes. I've put a lot of work into like making sure everybody's comfortable and just has like a general draft idea, because I think that at this level, one thing that tends to be a bit of a struggle is like people sometimes will want to try to be too optimal, if that makes sense. Like, well, they'll change the way that they play the game significantly. They'll like play way more as a team, like, but in reality, sometimes you have to abandon those instincts and just be a little bit more selfish. But we will see that in the draft. I will leave Tempo and Mox to take care of the draft, so you guys are in great hands. I'll be in the chat hanging out and stuff. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. But you know, take it from me.
Thank you, Deathy, and welcome in. I believe we are ready to kick it off with our first game of the day, which I believe is going to be between Jacob Lash is an Asshole and Life on Mars, our two teams here in Division 3, and we were just talking a little bit about team compositions. I wish we could have picked at Deathy's brain a little bit more, but he did say that he gave them trade secrets. I wonder how much these players are going to take the coaching advice into play when they're drafting these teams, because sometimes I feel like a little bit too much information can be taken, and we just briefly touching on, you know, comfort being kind of the most important thing in these games, especially when these teams are fairly new and still getting to know each other, and you know, it's only really been a couple of weeks since it's even been announced, so everything's come together quite quickly, but our team has become extremely efficient at putting it together, so I'm excited to see what they actually pull out in this draft, which should be getting underway pretty soon.
Yeah, and I mean, these teams have only been playing together for like a week or something at this point, and on top of that, in the middle of that, a new patch just dropped a day or two ago, and that's definitely gonna change some things up as well. I mean, I think we both experienced sometimes that what the effect of a patch can do in the middle of some competitive play here, and we're gonna see Life on Mars here start that adaptation a little bit with a Lash ban. And a Warden ban coming out from the other side. I mean, that's definitely some interesting bans right now.
Yeah, Deathy was actually just talking to us about how Lash stocks are going a little bit down just because the items that he likes to buy have got hit pretty hard in the last patch, and Warden's still a pretty powerful hero, but, you know, maybe not priority, but apparently so in this. Pocket wind up being first pick overall. This kind of sticks with the meta across all, I think, regions of play and even you know, divisions, but maybe you would have expected to see maybe Abrams is still on the board, Mo and Crow Kelvin all still available. Jacob Lash is an Asshole as a team pick up Billy first pick, so two really strong heroes. I think maybe could have waited to pick up Billy a little bit later, but you know, I like the aggressive maneuver, the aggressive early grab on Billy there. What do you think about that?
I think there's already a very clear pattern showing throughout this draft. Low elo equals team fight meta. If you look at all these four heroes so far, it's all team fight based characters that just really want to get up in your face and make sure that that they can control whatever's happening in these team fights, which does make a lot of sense in these like more chaotic lower elos. And the Yamato and the Abrams getting picked up definitely just adds to the chaos. I mean, Deathy was talking to us a little bit earlier about how he was expecting these lower divisions to be very big health pool, you know, very buff men, very much, you know, just a bunch of big guys.
Big and brolic as it was once spouted a long time ago. Shout out old team.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that. A lot of big team fight stuff. I mentioned this quite a lot, but ease of execution really matters when you start playing these competitive games. It's not, you running down a lane for the entire time and trying to carry your team, 21-0 the entire game. There's going to be a lot of fights that happen around urns. There's going to be a lot of fights that break out over sinners. That's a big deal about, creating advantages is taking sinners away. So you're going to see invades based off of, 3-4 man groupings. Then, of course, there's always fights around mid-boss, which might be just a little bit harder because of the latest changes. I think the health pool increased a little bit, but Life on Mars opting for Viscous, which I think is pretty interesting because there's never a ton of Viscous players, but when you do get them, they're usually fairly well tested. They're in the same vein as like the Viper and the McGinnis. I feel like you find a lot of Viscous one tricks now.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I remember my old team having 2 Viscous one tricks. That was fun. But yeah, I mean, Viscous is definitely one of those characters that I wasn't actually expecting in this level of play. I mean, it's one of those characters that's really hard to pilot well, especially in a competitive environment. So it's gonna be very a very pivotal pick here in the draft. If this Viscous does well, I think Life on Mars are set on pretty well into this game.
I will say a lot of the teams that will wind up having a Viscous player will benefit because I'm almost positive that somewhere in Deathy's coaching and strategy, there's going to be a heavy focus on setting up your team with a, at least a decent 2-character pairing of some sort of pick. And you can see that the Lash Holes have kind of done that by grabbing Mo and Krill and Billy. Billy's like a frontline fighter, but like the Chain Gang is so good at keeping characters' mobility because obviously it blocks some movement skills. You're essentially a pseudo frontline pick character, so a Viscous player is obviously a natural counter to pick gameplay style, and Life on Mars addressed it early by grabbing a save character. We've gone through our second set of bans already. Dynamo, an interesting one to go. You don't usually see it banned, but again, it's one of these heroes that like in low elo play, Black Hole is Singularity is a really big problem in large team fighting environments. Lash Holes respond by grabbing Mina, who is still fairly strong. It's interesting the adjustments that she's gotten recently. I wonder what you think about the latest changes that's come to Mina.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about Mina going into this Division 3 game because I wasn't really expecting this character to get played. It's a very hard character to pilot. Kind of the same story with the Viscous here. And the Mina ult changes, like the very universally easy playstyle, has gotten pretty hard nerfed here after this latest patch. I mean, only doing half damage to objectives, and yeah, that's definitely gonna hurt her a little bit, especially, and the right click as well, right, to float throughout the map is definitely something that's gonna be hard to take advantage of. But if Jacob Lash is an asshole, can make it work. I mean, I gotta see it before I believe it, though.
Yeah, it adds an interesting different element to the character's pool. Even though you have the objective damage changed off of Mina, you still see characters like Warden and Bebop still using their ultimates in a similar sense to take down walkers and other objectives. It's obviously not burning it instantly, it's still just, it's more in line with balance. So we'll see how that plays out. Seven and Doorman get picked on Life on Mars. I actually really like their composition. They have a lot of questions answered, and they have a lot of really hard CC and damage. I feel like so far they've done a really nice job. They have one more pick to round it out. Lash Wolves get the next 2, but the 7 and the Doorman pick, pretty interesting. Doorman a little bit high skill. I wonder how it's going to pan out.
I'm noticing a pretty big distinction here in the draft. I mean, neither team really going with a lot of these traditional, M1 carries. It seems a lot more to me like just dealing a lot of ability damage, and Page and Paradox as well gonna round out Lash is an asshole's composition. And I mean, kind of just reverberates the point there. I mean, it's not gonna be, you're not gonna see much hold down left click gameplay this game. I don't think it's gonna be very ability focused.
Yeah, you also get a little bit of balance though. Paradox these days is played a little bit more as a gun carry rather than like a true pick green items hunter. We'll see how that pans out. But Paradox mean ability, that's already a ton of gun damage, assuming that Billy goes gun rather than melee. But we'll see how that pans out. That's we are in kind of an Arcanist ritualist skill area here. But the last big Grey Talon from Life on Mars, there's a ton of damage on that lineup. There isn't an inherent pick player, although you could maybe argue like Abrams, Pocket, and Doorman kind of fill those roles, but it seems like the Jacob Lashes and Asshole team really has a really strong pick focused, where Life on Mars maybe just picking comfort heroes here. To get the Great Talent last is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely some very interesting compositions, as you're pointing out here. I mean, they're very, very universal, though, with how they really want to get played. I mean, both sides, especially, like, having a very distinct game plan, at least. Jacob's Lash and Asshole, going for these pick strats. Life on Mars, I see a little bit more of a team fighting idea here. But they also have some really good saves for these this pick comp. I mean, this Viscous is going to be crucial for Life on Mars here. I was already saying that it was going to be crucial before the Moan Krill and the Paradox came through, but now it's just gonna... It's gonna be... this game is definitely gonna fall a little bit on this Viscous' shoulders. No pressure, of course.
No pressure at all for the goo monster. I assume we'll very likely see like an Echo Shard Cube kind of game, but you never know. Maybe they'll, go ball focus, go punch focus. Not sure. It'll be interesting. Life on Mars doesn't have a ton of the like pure M1s. You're kind of touching on it. There's a couple of possibilities. Doorman has some pretty good weapon focused viability, and we were laughing a little bit earlier, but I wonder if we will see some like hybrid or even straight gun Grey Talon today. Any possibility?
No. I'd rather see gun Doorman than a gun Grey Talon. I feel like that would at least make a little bit of sense here for Life on Mars. But something I actually want to touch on here, we were talking about a little bit in the pregame. Where's Kelvin? I think both of us would have expected to see Kelvin either in the picks or the bans here, especially at this lower level. So it's quite interesting to me that it hasn't gotten picked at all.
Yeah, you'd think like maybe over the Viscous or maybe over the Page you would fit in a Kelvin pick, because touch on it again, the ease of execution on this hero is very, very straightforward, and it's kind of game changing. There's a reason that he's picked and banned first or top 3 amongst almost all competitive play, and it's just interesting to see. We'll see plenty of adaptations like this throughout the day, and it'll obviously be very closely based on the teams that we do watch, so it's gonna be fun. Like, maybe Kelvin just falls off the board for this tournament, and that's just how it is. But we did talk about the adjustments that came out. Maybe they're valuing Page higher. Who knows? Like, Page barriers are no joke. When you play full support, Divine Barrier, plus her protection skill. I mean, she's got a lot of protection for her team there.
Yeah, I also see some pretty good wombo combos being able to be pulled off here with the Billy and the Page especially. I mean, getting that chain gang into maybe one of the Page Page 3s, like the Captivating Rend, I believe it's called, and the ultimate there with all the horses. I can definitely see some sort of like CC combo being a bit of a game plan here for Jacob Lashes and Asshole. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how this one pans out.
Yeah, let's only hope we can see such divine coordination. These teams have had a little bit of time to play together. I'm just thinking back to when our team first started, like barely got any practice the weeks before going into the actual tournament itself. Like, maybe had a couple of scrims that we completely buffed. But I wonder if your team, like, heading into your initial tournament, did you guys get a lot of practice together, or was it like us where we were playing a lot of matchmaking together?
That we were playing a lot of matchmaking as well, but we did get a couple of scrims. It's not really like we got a ton of time. I mean, there's only 2 weeks of this tournament basically. The teams were made just 1 week ago, and they're already playing these 3 seeding rounds today. So it's hard to know exactly how to play off each other and stuff. But I do like that like how narrow a lot of these teams are going. Especially Jacob Lash is an asshole here. Very narrow comp and very very focused, at least, with how they want to play this game.
Speaking of, do you have a preference? If you had either one of these drafts, which one would you prefer to play in?
I mean, if I was talking on my skill level, I think I would definitely prefer the draft on the left side. But I see that draft being pretty hard to execute on, especially with a Doorman and a Viscous and a lot of these hard to play. So I would prefer Jacob Lash is an asshole in this division.
Interesting. I'm kind of on board with you there. I think, you know, Life on Mars has like a top 3 that looks like, you know, your traditional across competitive gameplays, and I'm like, that looks like the draft that I want. But then I kind of look at Lash as an asshole team, and they have the pick to like really make the mid game kind of easy and solved. But we'll see how that pans out as we are finally here into game, and you know, it's about time. We've been waiting a while to get some more DDS action. We're finally back on the streets of the Cursed Apple.
All right, pretty interesting lane assignments here so far. Abrams and Seven getting paired together against the Paradox and Mina. That's definitely gotta be a pretty hard lane for this Abrams 7. Both being known as pretty weak laners early on, going against 2 of the stronger ones, at least in the higher tiers of competition. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this one pans out.
Yeah, we are playing in a little bit lower division though, so one shoulder charge could equal, you know, a complete
That's
character
true.
blow up. I expect to see quite a lot of scrapping, early stun coming onto Mina, but the follow-up isn't there. Abrams wants to go under tower. This is ambitious. A little too early for that perhaps, but he does sneak out. Not too bad for it. Only a little bit of HP loss, but right side, this Pocket and Viscous are happy to scrap so far. A couple of low health bars here. Healing right bot pretty early. Good pickup item. I expect we'll see Rescue Beam as well, as we were talking about this being the potential Echo Shard Cube support Viscous. We'll see how that one pans out. This middle lane is potentially quite interesting as well, though, as we've got a Doorman and a Grey Talon paired up together, and that is a ton of Spirit Burst against this Billy Page combo on the other side, who might be suffering.
Yeah, Billy Page already backed up to behind their tower. Now finally get a little bit of an angle here to go to the shop. And interesting buys here as well coming out from the Page. I saw a Mystic Burst there being queued up. So perhaps this is a bit of a damage page coming out. Not necessarily a support page, as I was expecting personally. Ooh.
Could just help the early laning. First blood, though, on the left side goes off to our Seven and Abrams combo. We talked about that potentially turning into a quick kill. Didn't see exactly what happened, but you imagine a shoulder charge into a 7 stun or vice versa. That's a lot of damage really early, and a strong weapon on 7 there. So first blood of the tournament today happened just 2 minutes 40 in, so glad to get the first one off the board. Let's see if the Paradox Mina can rally in this lane, but back to the mid, we see a lot of punishment still. I think that Mystic Burst, oh my goodness, the Talon arrows, Billy's really struggling in this lane, not at the greatest laner super early on.
Yeah, I mean, this Billy character is very hard to play, I would believe, in the lower divisions. I mean, it's definitely one of the characters that you really know how to play. You need to know how to play the lanes in order to make them work. He's definitely not a character that can just stand up, shoot minions like any other character. You really need to get close in order to be able to get those denies and get those secures on the souls.
Headed to Broadway.
They are pinned under Guardian. It is about halfway down already, so we might see the first Guardian go pretty quickly this game. Gets a little bit of scrapping on the left side. Again, this Abrams and 7 continuing to make space against the Mina and the Paradox. That middle lane tower was the only real damage so far. Everybody else keeping it pretty safe. There is equivalent pressure on the other side of the map. The Pocket and the Viscous kind of taking it back into their garden. Pocket might have to back up, but see Abrams 7 doing a pretty good job here. Wonder which one of these lanes is going to break open first.
But Abrams gonna go already in for a little bit. I mean, he's showing confidence early on here, and I really like that from an Abrams player. I mean, you gotta show him who's boss, because otherwise, I mean, they can just roll over you.
Certainly do, as we get a punish in that mid lane that we were talking about. Billy unfortunately going down. That Guardian might be soon to follow. Paige is trying to keep things in control there. Buffs coming up very shortly. I wonder if these teams are kind of prepped for these timings. It's a little bit hard to keep track of. Nice shoulder charge onto Mina, but she's got her bats to kind of create a little bit of space. There was a 7 ultimate pop there for this fight. Interesting. All right, Abrams gonna try to dive the tower here, but it's not too much follow-up there. Interesting skill usage. Both buffs are still up to be claimed. Billy might be making the first move. 7 might fight over it as well. I wonder who's gonna get the better of that buff situation. Abrams is holding the lane here. Pocket very, very low. Man, Yamato is hunting. Do you see her behind the tower there?
Maybe she's going for like a very extended box run, and it seems like they're not really going to be able to deal with it, but Visk is going to rotate in now. 3-2. Perhaps they can make something work here, as mid tower's already gone, and they're sending 4 people over to this right lane.
Yeah, this is very interesting. There was a rotation from the Billy to the left side as well. I think they took the Abrams and 7 down, or maybe one or the other, and that Guardian might go down as well. As we finally got some pressure off with some pretty interesting early rotations. Paige and Billy gonna push on the mid lane as these others go down. Mina takes the Guardian on left. A lot of pressure here on the right side. Nothing coming quite of it yet. Nice puddle punch, putting Yamato in a little bit of trouble. Will go down from the last shots from the Viscous. Pretty nice job. See if they can capitalize. Mo is holding on to this tower here. Life on Mars is losing a Guardian on mid and left for all this time spent though, so they really need to make this conversion at this point.
Are gonna go down here, and the yellow side getting a pretty good start to the lane, but they did give up a lot of souls here going for that objective, and across the map, Jacob Lash is an asshole, is actually in the lead right now. Abrams here as well, 7. Both of them gonna be in a lot of pressure here, but Abrams gonna hit a really good punch here onto the Mina, and this Mina's gonna take a lot of damage here. Can she get the Sanguine Retreat out? No, I don't believe so. Abrams now gonna get under pressure on this Paradox, and it seems like he's gonna go down with the ship here. I mean, valiant effort from him, but Paradox is gonna be able to find him. He's actually gonna survive this.
Yeah, thank goodness he got out there, because that was looking like quite a bit of trouble. Not sure what Mina died to there in lane, maybe creeps? Was that a neutral kill that we missed somewhere? Anyways. We see Yamato and Mo and Crow trying to collapse on this Viscous. Pretty nice movement to get the puddle punch. A little bit more space out there. One more punch. Whoa, wait, is he kind of nice with it? Hold on a second. They're trying to dive under tower. 170 HP. My goodness, the Viscous is just barely safe. The Abrams here in response. So parry onto the Abrams. Nice job. Yamato's going to try to escape though. Instead of continuing this fight, we'll see if they got the movement to get to the high ground. Abrams beats him to it. Ooh, what's the adjustment here? Yamato has to go lower. Pocket is responding as well. Another power slash, but he will go down with the Pocket coming in to help assist on the kill. It was a pretty nice job from Irides on that Viscous there to get out of that situation. Swap comes out as well as Storm. Does actually wind up killing the Paradox here, and the Guardian will surely go down after only Billy and Paige to defend this. Ooh, the scuffle. Billy wants this fight onto the Talon. Gets cute though, buying time. Ooh, just barely missed the parry too. My goodness, he's going crazy. Here comes the Chain Gang. Does wind up getting the Talon. Is there any finish? No, the Viscous there just in time, and Yamato has arrived as well. Viscous goes down. It was a 3 killing streak, but now a shutdown onto the Yamato with the good rotation there. My goodness.
This is some beautiful deadlock right here. So much fighting happening, and both sides coming out completely untouched, basically. Both sides getting a negligible advantage, if any. I mean, a great entertainment value so far, at least. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with a lot of these players. There's definitely some one-tricks happening here. I mean, that Viscous so far has been doing a lot of work for Life on Mars.
Yeah, that was some pretty clean movement with the puddle punching. We like to see that. It's a very good tool. Not aware. You gotta get your movement practice in for the day, because that stuff is nice and clean. That Talon just farming camps with his bird. Maybe he was looking for a kill along the way. Look at this movement, though. This Life on Mars team is going in for an aggressive invade on the Sinners, but Jacob Lash actually is responding. They get a a combo out, and now the Nox Nostra to finish off the Talon. Pocket in trouble, excuse me, Doorman in trouble, trying to get out as well. Interesting trade of skills there. I think the Fairness Hotel actually kind of locked out the combo and kind of changed the dynamics of that fight. Jacob Lash is an asshole, gets a kill, and winds up getting everybody out safely. There's a lot on the farm still to be had, but that was a pretty aggressive attempt from Life on Mars to steal some Sinners there.
Yeah, but if you look at the map as well, I mean, Life on Mars getting some really good wave push here, and if they're smart about this, they might be able to make something happen here in this mid lane. I mean, they have a lot of people grouped here, and they have really good waves. So this Yamato, as an example, pretty deep here if they discover her. I mean, Doorman's around there, but seems like Yamato's just taking the doubles for free. Did they not notice?
I do not know. There was a buff at the same time, so maybe you just say that they were going to fight on that, but he will sneak out with the Paradox cover.
Yamato just gotta walk around the pillar. If I can't see them, they can't see me, okay?
Yeah. And so it goes. Hey, listen, sometimes you just invade off of pure confidence and nobody punishes you. That's just the way it is sometimes.
Yeah, and it's giving them a little bit of a lead here. I mean, even game now, Life on Mars were a little bit in the lead before, so I mean, pretty good stuff here coming out from Jacob Lash is an asshole. Viscus now though gonna go in, trying to get a play on this Billy here. Yamato gonna come in as well, trying to save this. Viscus gonna have to pop that ultimate, that goop ultimate, to get out of there. And Yamato trying to pop that ultimate to follow, but it's not gonna be successful, and so.
That is a full eject from Viscus. Pocket's still lingering in the area because Lash is an asshole. They have moved the first urn of the game over, and with their pressure on that lane, they will get the secure. However, Life on Mars has made a really good opt here to kind of take the Walker in exchange. So the first Walker of the game goes down at 11 minutes. A really, really nice job. You were mentioning before they had really good lane pressure. You look at left and mid lane right now, and it's really well under control. It's a really nice macro job from Life on Mars as Abrams finds a shoulder charge on Mo and Krill. Could be able to be pretty safe here. Talon is in extremely deep. Let's see if there's any turnaround. We saw the Page ultimate fly through. Mo and Krill still sticking around, probably looking for a combo target. Grabs Pocket there. It's a good target, but is there enough backup? Only half HP. No, he will actually go down off of that. There's 5 heroes here on this fight. Billy handling mid lane quite steadily. And they're going to look to push a Walker here. Maybe it's a little bit early, but we have a pretty big team fight here, potentially.
This is what we were talking about in the draft here. Jacob Lash is an asshole. Having that very, unanimous composition here. Going for those hate crimes, and that's all they want to do. And
the bird.
With that Moontrail, but whoo!
Goodness gracious, saved by the spirit shielding there a little bit. A really nice defensive purchase from Siegmeyer on this Mo and Krill. They back off with that wave push, so Life on Mars gets a little bit more control on the map. Again, they are up 1 Walker and subsequently 3 K-Souls after the first urn had gone the way of Jacob Lash as an asshole. Boy, this is a pretty fun start for DDS number 3. Again, we were watching Division 3 here, and it's been pretty fun so far.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed with the level of gameplay that's being displayed here, macro-wise. I mean, they're really good at actually focusing these waves on the side lane. Something that, I mean, even my team struggles with sometimes in the higher divisions. So, I mean, it's nice to see that that they're at least focusing a lot of those aspects of the game.
Yeah, it can be pretty easily lost, your wave management, once you start playing comp, because there's only so much you can realistically keep track of sometimes as you're learning to play this way. There's a 5-man rotation on the left side of the jungle. If you look at that, Abrams and Seven are going to make contact here, and it might be trouble. They might not be prepped for this rotation that's happening to them. Mo and Krill looking for a combo target. He's going to grab the Seven if you can only find him. There he is. But the stun coming out from Abrams, it might be enough to save him. Stormcloud is in a really awkward position, gets pulled in by the chain gang. Ooh, where's the trade? No, the hotel guest actually took Billy out of the fight. I think that wound up saving him. Abrams goes down under Walker. Nice dive from the Yamato. Now Doorman, inside of 3 players still, is actually finding a kill onto Siegmeyer's Mo and Krill. Yamato's trying to escape. Maybe they'll collapse on this Doorman, but he's also in a fairly strong position, full HP, so he's just kind of scared off the lash holes just on his own. Pretty interesting trade. I think it's 2 for 2 overall there. But now Yamato, no shadow transformation, Pocket finds him out. That's a big bag. I wonder what the total was. That looked like a 700-800 bag perhaps. Nice turnaround to kind of clean up that left lane fight in the end, and a little invasion here to steal Sinners again. We talked about their pretty good macro coming off of some decent wave control. I like their aggressiveness to take these Sinners.
80k now on the board for Life on Mars, getting a little bit of that soul lead, and I was skeptical going into this draft that they were going to be able to pull off this composition, but they're definitely showing that, hey, they can pull off anything. I mean, this doorman being very fed in particular, and I believe he is going a little bit of a gun doorman, which is kind of interesting, at least to me, in these lower divisions.
Yeah, we were talking about that possibility looking at the Life on Mars draft and saying they're a very spirit damage focused team so far, but if the doorman had shifted and gone to the gun build, that'd be an interesting adaptation. Maybe it's gone that way. Be a very interesting thing. Comeback earned on the board. This is huge for Jake Flash. Is an asshole. See the Mo Crow running it over, and I think they'll be pretty uncontested. That being said, Life on Mars kind of looking for a trade here. Nice catch onto the Mina, perhaps. She doesn't have her bats to sneak out of the situation, getting a ton of damage. Let's see if she's got the movement. Pretty nice so far. A couple little wall bounces. Bats are back up. She's gonna sneak out. Was it too early? No, they are not chasing. So comeback earn goes in for the lash holes. They're gonna try to trade for a walker here, but I'm not sure if they've rotated enough damage. Knocks Nostra catching onto Talon. That's a lot of damage so far. Not enough to take him out. Walker's very low. They're just gonna lock her away in the hotel, take the walker, and probably escape out of the situation. Biscuits has also rotated over to this fight, but they're actually gonna try to catch the Mina here. Ooh, no, release the arrow. No.
A little bit of a fumble there coming out from the great talent, but I mean, there's definitely some interesting things happening here in this game. I mean, Pocket gonna be under a lot of trouble here by the Yamato and the Billy, gonna use a lot of their abilities to try and catch it here. Yamato gonna try to hit that Walker, gonna miss though, not having the range for it, and she's gonna have to back out here. Pocket deeming too big of a threat, and Doorman coming in now. Maybe this Yamato's in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, maybe so. We've seen them play very aggressively on the Yamato, though, even without Shadow Transformation up. Looks like he'll just sneak out. Abrams as well, creating a ton of space with a pretty traditional Punch Abrams loadout here so far, but no chase, no worse for wear. He'll heal up off of that Infernal Resilience, and things settling here. Only a 3k difference, and we're approaching 20 minutes, just 3 away. Ooh, Paradox gets caught. Luggage cart into the door. Running out of HP, will go down. Gets caught trying to steal a single there, I believe. Oh no, that was actually an aggressive invade from Life on Mars. Really nice job by them.
Never mind, actually, it is a Spirit Doorman. Interesting. I mean, I was expecting maybe a Gun Doorman, but I mean, perhaps not. Meanwhile, AO is on that Abrams. Is gonna get caught out by Siegmeyer's combo. That Mon Krill combo really proving pivotal so far for Jacob Lash is an asshole, and they're getting pretty well back into this game. But I gotta say as well though, this Mina, I don't know if you've seen that Mina's item so far, but she has a Spirit Burn queued up right now, and she has a Tank Buster bot. This is an alt Mina right here. Gonna go for those walkers. I don't believe she's read the patch at least.
There's no chance that that's the case, right? There's just no chance. Yamato dueling here with Viscus. Nice bunches going out. Nice kill goes the way of Life on Mars. Yamato is very aggressive there, you could say, into a 2v1 underneath the walker. We see some more scuffling. We haven't seen much out of this page here, but she is getting blown up the first time we do take a look at her. So nice find in the mid lane, some spaces open in those mid boxes being taken underneath. But I wanted to touch on one thing as the Abrams went down to the combo. There's one gap in the Life on Mars team composition, and that being that Abrams is the only tip of the spear on this team. He's going in first and alone, and went a little bit too far and got caught underneath Walker. It's going to probably prove to be a little bit of a problem. We'll see how they manage it through this game. So far, so good, but we'll see if they can keep that communication tight, and maybe this is kind of pair up to make some space alongside him.
I mean, this Abrams is playing very aggressively for the team, and I gotta say, when I was first seeing it, I was like, okay, you know, he's just showing some confidence early on to get them scared of him. But at this point, we're at like time 20 or something of him over-aggressing, and he's just gonna keep going. You're gonna use that ultimate on that little plateau up there to just assert some dominance once again. I mean, they gotta know whose lane this is, and it's very apparent to me right now that it's not the Abramses, as he's gonna go down here. Yamato gonna chase him all the way back from that walker. I mean, this is what we're here to watch, man. This is what we're here to watch.
It is just straight burger boxing at this point, as we see our first disconnect of the tournament so far. 19 minutes, I probably would have taken the under on that bet, but we had seen as the Abrams was kind of dueling in the mid lane with his pocket player, there was a push on the other side of the map to try to aggress on the first walker. Jacob Lash's Nassau team was looking forward. You could see the HP fairly low on that right side walker. They were looking for a maneuver, but I think it backfired on him. Doorman found another kill. There's 3-0 and 6. Pretty impressive performance as we take a look at the kills and builds across the board. It's been pretty fun so far. We see a lot of pretty balanced builds for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a key exception to this so far with the Mina, but we'll get to that in a bit. I mean, there's some interesting ideas here so far, I gotta say. I mean, Trophy Collector getting bought here on page is actually something I was expecting a little bit more of maybe in these lower ranks. I mean, there's a lot of burger boxing happening, right? And when there's a lot of burger boxing happening, there's a lot of kills flowing around on the map. And if there's a lot of kills flowing around, that's just free trophies in my book.
Yeah, all we can really hope for is that they've done their research and they decide, that Trophy Collector is or isn't the right item for them. I'm still, most people are down on the Trophy Collector situation. I do wonder, we see some text going back and forth. Hopefully we have not lost a player here, but still kind of settling out the situation. It's been pretty fun 19 minutes so far. I almost can't wait for the first mid-boss to kind of break out, because I would almost hope that it's like a perfect situation where both teams get to just, 5v6, 5v5, 5v4, like team fight scuffle, to just see where this communication is, because it's one of the important points about, finally playing in competitive environments like this, like who's got the best communication in these like chaotic moments. We all know Deadlock is got so many facets to the game, and when you have 12 players on a map, it can get really crazy. But looking forward to whichever team finally takes mid-boss first.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely not that much focus right now on the objectives. I mean, I was talking a little bit earlier about how they're pushing a lot of waves in general, but they're not really doing much with those waves other than just like fighting. It's like taking two muffins or something and just smashing them together and seeing what the outcome is.
Yeah, to be fair, to just provide one counter to that point, I think the Lashwolves have done a pretty decent job of prioritizing the urn. They did get the first one. They got the first and the second urn. The second urn was a comeback, so we kind of, say it's on their side. It's a little bit easier to confirm that urn. But, you do have to make your way to the pickup, and a lot of teams will contest a pickup heavily, especially when it is a comeback. But we've seen, excuse me, I'm forgetting their name now, of course, but our Amber team was we're doing a really nice job of like countering those macro moves by taking walkers instead off of that time. So there's been some decent macro play, but you are right. Overall, there's a lot of just scrapping and 2vx, and we've seen like 2v4s like turning it in the 2-player favors in crazy ways. So I just hope that there's a lot of that to come today. Again, this is our first of our 3 games today. We have Swiss stages, and then we'll see the full bracket competition on another weekend. But so far, so good, I'd say. Pretty impressive showing from this Division 3.
Yeah, and it's important to note as well, for all these teams, they haven't been playing together that much. We talked about it a little bit in the pre-game as well, but I mean, they're definitely showing some pretty good signs here that they've actually taken a lot of things into consideration. I mean, they're definitely going for a lot of these counter playstyle things. I mean, I saw the Doorman as an example, using that ultimate to stop the Moan Krill combo in a fight that was happening in the early game. I mean, that's something that you got to think about and say they've actually thought about this a little bit, and that might be one of the reasons why they picked the Doorman in the first place, maybe.
Yeah, it's especially powerful and, you know, counters a lot of, well, frontliners in particular. You know, you think about characters that kind of run away with the game like Shivs and Abrams and Billy, and especially the combo. And Moan Krill's extremely popular pick. I think, you know, most people don't want to play him because he's boring or whatever have you, but like this character dominates games and he's a huge menace to deal with. Like Hotel Guest just really simplifies that problem.
You leave my man Moan Krill out of this. I mean, boring. What is this? Shout out all my Moan Krill hits out in the chat, man. This character is so fun. And I mean,
I didn't say it.
Oh, you didn't say it.
No, I'm speaking for the greater deadlock hole. You know, as my team picks, yeah, like Infernus Mirage.
Yes.
However many squishy characters like my matchmaking team wants to queue up. I don't see anybody like, I'm double prime with Moan Krill, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those characters that's really strong as well in competitive play. I mean, pretty unanimously easy to figure out character. You go in there, you absorb damage, and you just hit the guy a lot with the combo. You make sure that they are stun locked for as long as possible. If there is no combo up, you are weak. That's about it. But looks like we fixed a lot of we fixed the player issue here, or Jacob Lash is an asshole, and we're back and ready to get underway in the game here again.
Yeah, thank goodness. At first it might have seemed that somebody had perma disconnected, but I'm really glad that that's not the case, because we've had a lot of fun with this game so far. As we approach minute 20, we've got buffs, maybe a little bit of a setup on the left side. The Billy and the 7 might scuffle for that buff pickup. It's already gone away. We see the Stormcloud pop. I think 7 probably took that. By my assumption, I think Talon on the other side got one as well. So Life on Mars double buffed up here. Second or third urn now. We see Nox Nostra, but Mina gets caught in the tower. He's just taking damage. Will get a walker, okay. Worth? Question mark? As we transition to the mid lane here, it's a 2v4 kind of developing. Talon here stuck under the chain gang. Is there any follow-up though? Is there enough damage as he finally gets his little dash out? Oh, he's out of stamina. Whoa! The power slash 200 HP. He is walking out. Pocket creating a little bit of space. Siegmeyer on the left lane will go down at 3v1 though, so they are keeping that left lane pressed out. Burn finally picked up a little doorway teleportation, make that move a little bit easier, but there's 4 heroes from Jacob Lash as an asshole here in the mid lane, trying to create some pressure, but it's just a strange situation. They're kind of getting collapsed on from both sides. Viscus is literally just walking the urn behind them, by the way. It's Abrams finds a pick onto the Paradox to kind of start things off here. Billy's trying to go for the contest, but it's completely disjointed. Abrams now on Billy's case. Viscus gets a free turn in, and it's just like a strange fight. Jacob Lash's in the house just sort of give away a situation. They're almost completely unaware.
Yeah, I mean, good play here from Life on Mars, and they're just gonna complete this objective takeover. I mean, they're gonna get the mid boss knocked down here, and looks like they're not gonna pose much of a threat here either. They're a bit scared to go down there, and rightfully so. I mean, you're going into the Doorman, and that's gonna be 3 Rejuve credits picked up for Life on Mars. Game is in their hands now, and let's see what they're gonna do with it.
Yeah, and just they got earned just a moment to go as well, so we see that soul lead swell pretty heavily in their favor, about 15,000. Certainly imagine to see some grouping up now, not just Pocket diving onto Walker, right guys? Float to get out. Is there follow-up? They might just get this Pocket for free. First Rejuve down. What's the plan? What's the plan? He's getting gone on again in that mid lane. Does he have the escape though, or any backup? Walker, I think, finally did go down.
You know that he died there. They did actually get the Walker there, so they got something out of it. I mean, 1 Rejuve credit for a Walker is kind of an okay trade in my book.
Yeah, I mean, if you... Oh, my goodness. Power Slash takes out the Pocket there. So now it's looking a little bit less like a good trade as Doorman sneaks through the portal. just to get out, but a bit of discoordination. They do have 2 rejuve crystals, so it's okay, but Pocket dying there just for Walker, if you do the math like 1-to-1, you're like, that's fine, but they could also take time and do a little bit more of a coordinated push, as we see by kind of breaking out here in the middle. On the left side, 7 might be in a 3v1 fiasco as well. Oh, and Krill went down there in the mid lane. Life on Mars trying to find a push on mid as well. I think they're a little bit lost. I'm gonna be honest with you. They have rejuve, and I don't know that they know what to do next with it. Gage does go down. 3 kill streak for this Talon. It's kind of starting to pop off now a little bit. Yamato, there is a shadow transformation that will be cast. Ooh, early Ooh, nice damage for kill streak. Pretty good job there. Your Talon creating his own space there on mid lane.
Now that's an experienced Talon player right there. I mean, that was some pretty expert play there. I mean, using that bird to get that execute through all the resists of the Yamato is something you really gotta give him credit for. Not something that every player would do. And he's gonna get swapped now, though. I mean, enemy team recognizing that he is a bit of a strong character here, a bit of a strong player here, and they're gonna go for him a little bit. Mina now on top of this Talon, but gotta be the same way back around. Maybe they have to use a rejuve credit here. No one else being low so far. Mina gonna pop that ultimate, and Kimara's gonna go down here using a credit. But Mina now in a lot of trouble.
Honestly, that was a pretty nice little grab, as Mina does have to face the Pocket now. She did buy Spellbreaker, though, to create a little bit more space. 7 Storm underneath the Patron, though. It's going to create a ton of space. Abrams charge, misses. No, didn't beat. Oh, one last punch. Secures the kill onto the Mina. As Life on Mars continues to scrap here in the base, they're looking for the second Shrine kill, which will go down. Abrams just so damn tanky. He's got his Elephant rounds as well, as long as Spirit Resilience here, so he is nearly impossible to kill. As Jacob Lash is an asshole lineup, lacking maybe a little bit in raw gun damage to deal with so much that has happened. They have 1 rejuve left, but they will back out after taking the entire base.
Doing a lot of things right now, Life on Mars. Pretty good pressure overall, and I mean, there's some of the micro stuff that, you know, is a little lacking, of course, but it's definitely showing that this team is one not to mess with in this division.
Yeah, they've looked fairly coordinated at times. We were reminiscing a little bit about how they weren't spending their rejuve as widely, but they finally got it together. We do see some pretty decent Talon play trying to escape some situations here, but they want this kill. They're diving him. Combo though in the back to buy some time. It's on the doorman, who's going to try to make his escape right now, as we see Sigmar's Moan Krill going in. The doorway closes in front of you. No, every time. You cannot chase this character. Yamato, though, in trouble in a fight with Viscous, looking for the finishing kill. Crimson Slash buying so much time, though. Viscous might be support, might not have enough, and now surrounded by 3 players. The cube can only delay this so long. Verities goes down. I hear Nox and Astra pop off. I think they found the Abrams heading into mid. How hard do they chase here? Pocket, Abrams, and 7 all making their way out of the mid lane now.
I gotta say, I mean, they're doing a lot of things right here as well. Jacob Lash is an asshole. I mean, they got the pick there onto the Viscous by being very coordinated in that jungle, and I mean, that's what you wanna be doing here if you are Jacob Lash is an asshole. I mean, you gotta be looking at those comeback values on the kills if they're aware of that aspect of the game at least.
Yeah, I really appreciate them collapsing on the Talon there, who was trying to steal farm on their way out of the fight, and now they've correctly grabbed the comeback urn. Pocket kind of sniffing around on this one, but there's no contest to be had. There's all 6 players here from the Lash Holes are here to turn this one in. Rightly so. It's a very important moment because they're not technically out of the game yet. Their first patron is down, but that comeback urn is going to do a little bit to close the gap. There's still over 20k souls down, but the longer the game goes, the more that gap isn't as significant, but still in a fairly bad position. There are some opportunities for them here.
Bit of downtime here, as all the teams are just looking at what items they are gonna be buying next. Veilwalker now getting popped as well on the Moan Krill. It's a bit of an interesting item here to be buying, and I mean, what are your thoughts actually on this Veilwalker item in this division?
I think it's a tremendous item. I hope that they utilize it properly. I mean, it's hard to use wrong because at the end of the day, it is just a heal. Holy bag on Yamato there. Hallenberg just keeps stacking and stacking. Was that a hyper one? Alright, Pocket's just hanging out here. Could be in a bad situation. Though does get comboed before the Affliction goes off. Really interesting. Viscous Cube to save, though. Underneath the Stormclad is a huge problem. Life on Mars has a lot of space created, and now the Affliction, it catches Paradox and Page, who will be struggling. Paradox down. The turnaround from the Page ultimate isn't quite enough, though. 2 down. What will Life on Mars do here? Actually, it is a 3rd down. My goodness, there might be a little bit too much trouble here. The Mina as well, and there's only the Moanquill and the Billy as Life on Mars head into the Patron, and surely will get their first win of the day and the first win of the tournament. Looks like just a formality at this point. There is some scuffling still happening here. As I say, they're lacking a little bit of gun damage on that Patron, but at the end of the day, Life on Mars finish up this game 1. And shout out to them, pretty impressive game after all. They were kind of up 30k near the end there, so good job to them. The Lashholes, they put up a good fight. There was a lot of scrapping to be had before, you know, the 20-minute mark when things really changed.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of an anticlimactic end there. I mean, suddenly everyone was just dead for the Lashholes there, but I mean, definitely well played there by Life on Mars, showing a lot of these characters, especially these spirit carry characters, are something that they really prefer, and that's what they drafted around, and it really paid off for them in the end. I mean, they had a hard time dealing with them on the Lashholes in general, and Life on Mars taking this game 1-0. Gotta feel pretty good coming into these next 2 rounds.
Yeah, we talked about some parts where there was some little misplays or areas where they might have looked a little bit like lost on what to do next, but overall they managed their waves well. They invaded with confidence, and they, you know, took mid-boss when the opportunity presented itself, and at the end of the day, that's really what this game kind of boils down to in its current state. So they did lose, I think, every urn this game. 2 of those were comeback, so you might look and, you know, point at that and say you might want to consider those pickups a little bit higher, but pretty impressive job. By the end of the game, the Great Talon had completely taken over and was out schmooving people left and right, and yeah, it was just a really nice performance from the composition that we kind of thought would have been executed a little bit easier, but
Good start here of the round by by Life on Mars, as they're gonna head into this next round 1-0. And just a reminder, guys, the format is a switch stage, as you can see in a bit. But for now, we have the post-game screen for you guys. I mean, definitely some standouts here. I mean, that Viscous and that GT doing a lot of damage for the Amber Hand there for Life on Mars.
yeah, I do wonder what that Viscous final itemization was, but it performed fairly strong. Also, our Doorman player, Deathless, our Pocket player with the most objective damage, and Great Talon with the most hero damage. So pretty balanced effort from this side here of Life on Mars. Ooh, Punch Focus, interesting. All right, so we had a Crushing Fist, our High Velocity rounds, Express Shot, excuse me, that's the name of this item now. And yeah, very interesting. A little bit more scrapping focused, and it suited the game because there was so much scrapping to be had.
Yeah, and I will say though, for the other side as well, I think they gotta look at picking a little bit more damaging characters. They had a lot of utility in general, but I feel like they were lacking a lot in the damage department. So maybe one of those traditional M1s would work out a little better, especially if you're drafting that Page.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair point. Paradox can be fairly good, but I think they were counting on the Paradox and the Billy to do a lot more gun damage than they were able to put out, and maybe it just took too long for those characters to get. Billy does take a little bit of time to kind of cook and to get into position, so you know, maybe they'll address that as it goes, but I think we'll be ready to go to break here, and we'll see some replays that are brought to you by Metal today. So we'll see you guys on the other side before we get to game 2.
I wanna fly with the Jetsons. I wanna shoot surrounds me. The waves are crashing. I'm coming home. Come home. Come home. Come home. I'm
Thank you and welcome back. There was a little bit of an extended break as we got all of our little ducks in a row back here. It's been a pretty fun start to the day. We've had one game go the way of Life on Mars, and we have 2 more to go as we make our way through our Swiss stage. Again, the actual tournament bracket will happen on another weekend, so we have 2 more games today coming up for you. It's going to be a pretty fun one. But in the meantime, we do have a little bit of a giveaway to talk about from our second sponsor today, which is Corsair. They've got a little set of items that are coming out for you. You can see the K70 Core TKL RGB mechanical game keyboard and a mouse as well. You see the Saber V2 as well. There is a headset available, Void V2, for you. So you just enter !giveaway in the chat, or you can follow the QR code that is right there below. You'll have to do just a couple of things, following social medias, etc. You've seen these before. More tickets you put in, better your chances to win, and the winners will be announced after the 3rd game later today, whichever is the last game to conclude. So be sure to type in !giveaway. Sign up for your chance to win some cool gear, upgrade your systems, and thank you again to Corsair for providing some stuff to sponsor our humble little stream. So as our teams get set up, any thoughts, Tempu, going forward? It's been had a really good start. We saw some really interesting team compositions, but there's a lot of fun still to be had.
Yeah, I mean, if we can take a look at the standings here, I mean, a lot of victories coming out from many of these sides. I mean, there's definitely some interesting names here. I mean, NA with the naming game, I gotta say, I mean, you guys are on top of this stuff. I mean, there's some heaters in here.
There's definitely some interesting stuff, and I remember reading through some of the names earlier today. There's Lane Janitors. I like that one particularly. Everyone in chat will appreciate Pawslock. Pawslock got a victory over Hero Shooters Anonymous, another interesting name. I think we'll be watching them next, to be honest. I think I saw that. Maybe I'm correct. We'll get to that in a bit, but I mean, there's just so many fun things here. The Mofongo Marauders, our Hispanics will enjoy that. That's a fun one. A ton of interesting stuff. I did have a friendly wager with somebody else from the production team that there might be some more memes based around the DSI craziness, but that did not come to fruition. We still have a bunch of fun stuff. But yeah, yeah, it's been pretty good so far. So we get a little bit of an idea of the teams that have won so far. Of course, we watched Life on Mars get a victory in that game 1. So we'll see what we've got in store for everybody in this game 2 coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, and I mean, it's gonna be a different division we're gonna tackle here in a second here. I believe we're heading into Division 2 for our next game, and that's gonna be very exciting, I think. I mean, stepping up a little bit in the skill level, I believe we're hitting the Emissary to Archon level in the next few games here, and I mean, there's also some interesting games like right below, you know, the place where the meta really starts to matter a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as we continue to see where they kind of value their picks and so on and so forth, as we see our 2 teams pull up to the table for picks and bans. Hero Shooters Anonymous, HSA, I might refer to them as that's a bit of a mouthful, the same way Jacob Lash is an asshole kind of filled up a lot of space in our in our game
Little
one
bit.
conversations, but just a little bit. But Earn Baiters on the other side, pretty fun name itself. And we see a Bebop band first overall. That's an interesting adaptation already changing between these divisions.
Yeah, Bebop ban, I would assume being a little bit of a target ban, maybe. I don't know how much these teams know about each other, but Bebop is not a character I would be expecting to be banned. But one major change coming in from the divisions, as we've seen here, we talked about it a little bit in the other game, but Kelvin being first banned now, all of a sudden, by Earnbaiters, seemingly being prioritized a lot more in this division.
Yeah, this looks a lot more like we might consider standard. The Bebop is a little bit of an outlier, but you could say that he's still kind of that Giga gun carry that he has been. It hasn't really changed a ton outside of maybe Cultist Sacrifice, but it wasn't necessarily in every gun Bebop build. So anyways, Kelvin, very standard. We expected to see that. Moen Krill first overall, I think is fairly interesting, considering what's now left on the table for Earnbaiters in possibly a Pocket and Abrams. I mean, there's just so many top picks. Paradox is still there. Like, there's just a lot that's been left on the table by going with these bans and Moen Krill first overall.
Yeah, certainly a lot of options here, and the Moen Krill insta pick is also a little bit interesting to me because it doesn't leave out open angles like a Viscous pick maybe from Earnbaiters. These teams are good on the Viscous at least. That's definitely one of the best ways to counter this Moen Krill.
Yeah, definitely a strong save hero. We do see the Abrams that we talked about. A lot of these topics are going to be based off of hero pools, so maybe Earnbaiters doesn't even have a Viscous or a Pocket. We have yet to see that, but there's a lot of really good options on the board. A lot of big HP bars taken, as we discussed earlier in the day. I do wonder who's going to favor more of the pick compositions, the save compositions. We saw that kind of that war in the first game, and it's going to be interesting to see who's going with what. Wow, Abrams Shiv first two overall is pretty interesting.
Yeah, Shiv getting picked in a game where that's the team as well that banned the Kelvin. I mean, those two right now are a bit of a power duo. They get seen together a lot, you know, in general, and it makes sense why. But a Shiv on its own without that healing potential with the Kelvin dome, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how that's gonna pan out for Earnbaiters here.
Now, they could be trying to just pinch the frontline pool. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to the second ban stage and see like a Yamato Billy as their other bans, and then you're going to see Hero Shooters Anonymous kind of scrambling to find, you know, like a Geist pick or just something that can heal or be tanky. They take Warden, which I think is a really good response so far to having two frontliners that are going to really feel the pain of that last stand. So we're already seeing kind of a regression to the mean, I might call it, more normalcy in these sort of picks and bans, but so much HP in these first four. Okay, all right, so just take frontliners.
I mean, this is shaping up to be a bit of an NA classic here. This is looking like Burger Box the game. Massive front lines, massive, you know, health pools all around the board, all across, you know, it's definitely gonna be an interesting game to watch here. But I'm very surprised we haven't seen any of the, you know, current health, you know, damaging characters. I wouldn't be expecting a Pocket here coming out from either team, actually, honestly. Perhaps something that Earnbaiters could pick up now.
Whoever, oh man, they go for the last two. It's interesting. It's interesting, right? It's just a good team fight hero. You can't really blame the Lash pick. It did catch a few nerfs. We talked about that at the beginning of the stream. As we go into the second phase of bans, I just wonder what the strategies can be, because Pocket is like so huge. Like you said it, either of these teams take Pocket, and it's a nightmare scenario for the other team. So maybe it gets banned. Maybe nobody has a Pocket on these two teams. That would be crazy.
Pocket ban, Infernus ban, and then no one gets any anti-heal, and everyone just fend for themselves. I mean,
well, to be fair, like these are the lineups where you say, just take care of yourself, man. Like Moen Krill is just gonna scorn, Billy's just gonna blast it, like Shiv is just gonna radiant regen, April's just gonna infernal resilience, like Lash is just gonna hit flog. Like, I mean, like technically they don't need it.
I was expecting a little bit, as we were talking about in the Division 3 games, maybe the Division 4 games, that we were going to see like 12 rebuttals get bought. But so far, I mean, I think this is the game where 12 rebuttals might actually be bought. I mean, there's so many characters here that benefit from meleeing in general, especially in lane, and it's going to be interesting to see. But Urnbader's going to take away that pocket, as we discussed there. I mean, gonna say, hey, no anti-heal, no current health damage on that affliction for you.
Yeah, I would possibly hurt Cedars line up a little bit more than it hurts Cedars, so I think that's a pretty smart ban and also consider. But like, who's crunching, you have a ban to deal with. To the other side, we're looking for some shred, so and like present some cross, like we talked about a little bit on. Has been kind of poking its head around. I'm like, well, this 7 is obviously a popular choice, and Mirage has now had some pretty decent updates that change his ability to kind of impact these big fights. We're going to see all of these damage carries come out in this second phase, and I just wonder which team is going to opt for, you know, the shred first, because, you know, somebody's going to get to it early.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some shred that should be getting bought in general, but another option is to go for the Infernus here. Really good character into the Warden, especially getting that negative 25% spirit damage on the afterburns. It's going to be crucial here for Urnbaders on that Infernus, as well as just, you know, the general debuffing and damage taken, healing that you get from the Napalm. I mean, this Infernus makes a lot of sense into this comp, as we discussed a little earlier.
Yeah, this Urnbaders draft is really quite well thought out. I'm really impressed with how they've gone about it, because the Infernus pick there, like you said, it addresses a lot of problems on its own. You know, like Warden, Mo, and Krill like don't really want to run through a flame dash, and the afterburn minus spirit damage is huge. Like even picking Mina into this Infernus here is slightly problematic when all of her damage comes from spirit.
Yeah, and I will say though, for the Mina, I mean, Mina's a character that doesn't like a lot of, you know, green items in general. One of the characters you can actually get away with playing a very squishy build on, because she is naturally squishy and doesn't get a lot of value from going green items. But when you do see green items got bought on Mina, it's usually just a debuff remover to make sure that any slowing hicks is bought, or maybe in this case, any afterburns or toxic bullets or something that gets procced on her. Just gets gets removed.
I think spirit shielding is just another one of those, but like these very like 1600 expense, like your most efficient like spirit or defensive green items is like, yeah, very much in that nature. Mina Mirage, a lot of damage coverage between those two. Again, I kind of like Infernus into those picks. He's kind of nuking a lot of their damage on their own. Paradox now, we're going to see the last pick for Urnbaders come out as well. They've really assembled like a nice looking composition. I think Hero Shooters Anonymous have as well, but I think just off of the rip, I think Urnbaders have done a really nice job. I wonder how they round out this draft. Maybe a more traditional support. We talked about the potential of the Viscous could really like ruin everything that the Hero Shooters are trying to do, but maybe even something as simple as a Dynamo or a wouldn't really hate a page that much here. Like they've got everything else covered, like simple supports here and there could do a lot, but see what they want to do with that. Hero Shooters still have a couple of things to address. They don't really have a helpful pick hero outside of the Mo and Krill. Holiday is still available to be taken. I imagine Urnbaders won't be going for another pick hero at this point, but you know, there's some things that they can do to kind of round out their composition. Both teams fairly good so far as we wait for this last pick to come out. Ooh, my goodness.
Great Sun gonna come out here for Urnbaders, and it's a pretty good roundup to their general fighting. I mean, they were missing a little bit of that backline DPS, having a lot of that front line already secured, and Great Sun is a really good pick into a lot of this comp. Especially that Mina as an example. I mean, Great Sun is one of those characters that can really just one-shot a Mina because she has basically no health to start with, right? It's gonna be a pretty important pickup here for Urnbaders. But same thing on the other side here, I will say, for that Mirage. And I wonder if this Mirage has done his homework on this latest patch. because this patch has been one of the most crucial for Mirage in general. I mean, the fact that cooldown reduction now applies on the proccing on those Jins marks is gonna do a lot for their team comp, and they're gonna decide to round out their comp with a haze, and you know what? I like it.
I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. You don't see a lot. I will say in our divisions of play, which are nearby this particular skill rating, it's a little bit lower here, you know, by technicalities.
Yeah.
Players are different, but like you don't typically see the haze picked up as like the pick character, even though across higher competitive regions we see it very frequently as like this is your, you know, pick character. But that is a tremendous pickup, I think, because A, it provides you a different type of damage source between, you know, your Mina and Mirage are essentially spirit carries. But maybe Mirage is still considered a gun carry at this point, somewhere in the mixed region. But Haze is like pure hybrid.
Yeah.
Yep. But Haze is like your pure gun, but like handles a great tandem with the Moe and Krill, solves the problem of your pick. And, you know, really, if you say that Greytown was like resolving like a damage issue that Earnbaiters had, like the only issue from Hero Shooters was that they didn't have some pick assistance, and Haze just answers that and creates a lot of space on the map against some heroes that really not going to be too happy. It also takes care of the Lash issue. Like Sleep Dagger is a great answer for the Lash ultimate. So I think these teams have done an actually really tremendous job in this draft. I'm not upset at either of them in particular. I do kind of like a little bit what Burn Betas have done better, but I think both of these teams have had a really good first draft in this set of games.
Yeah, and I'm very interested to see what type of build this Haze is gonna play, because there's generally been two schools of thought in the current moment. I mean, you either go for this very carry-heavy build on the Haze, or you go for the more supporty, picky Spirit Haze with daggers, maybe going Echo Shard and like Surge of Power on the dagger to really make sure that wake up time is as long as possible so you can get all your damage in at once. And if I'm looking at this draft from Hero Shooters Anonymous, I believe that maybe a Dagger Haze would fit the draft a little bit better. They already have like pretty soul-hungry heroes other than the Haze. I mean, you have the Warden, the Mina, the Mirage. I mean, these are characters well known for needing a lot of souls to get online.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if that's the direction that they choose to. They definitely need to do something economical, because your Billy wants to farm, your Warden wants to farm, your Mina and Mirage both want to farm. So you're just going to have like a dirt poor Moe and Krill, which it can function, is going to be a little unhappy, but you know, now that he's got a pick tandem in Haze, it's a little bit less problematic. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll keep an eye on how that build progresses. I imagine it'll just be fire rate plus slowing hex and like maybe fortitude, like the old way they used to run around like with smoke bomb. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on how that impacts the game. I think Earnbaiters are going to be pretty straightforward in their building, though. Paradox probably going to be, you know, your crippling headshot, headshot booster, headhunter, excuse me. Talon's just going to be pure spirit, of course, unless we see some crazy shenanigans. I do wonder, on the Earnbaiters side, if we're going to see a lot of green items come out of your Shiv or your Abrams to kind of adjust for the team play and create a more structured front-to-back system, because Hero Shooters Anonymous have a very straightforward front-to-back, where Earnbaiters, they've got like a swap, they've got the Death Slam. The only people that are going to be in the back are the Talon and the Infernus, sort of like Infernus is going to mix it up too, so the team fights from the Earnbaiters is going to be pretty chaotic. So I wonder who kind of tanks up and takes a brunt of the assault here from the Hero Shooters.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want some green items across the board here, and it's gonna be interesting to see how these fights are gonna pan out. I mean, Hero Shooters Anonymous really gonna rely a lot on this Warden and this Haze especially to really find the value of those characters in the team fights. But it looks like we're about ready to head into game here, as we're heading into the second round now of the Division 2 games.
So this one is going to feel a little bit closer to home for some of us, especially myself watching at home, kind of playing in between some of these divisions at some point. So it's going to be a little bit more normal. Wow, early denial already. Nice job. from the Mirage, as we see a Warden Mirage set up against an Abrams Talon. There's a lot of explosivity out of both of these sides. Of course, Flask can do a lot early. No skill out of Abrams yet? You want to pick one, bud? There we go. All right. He's starting Siphon Life there.
Hey man, he's just thinking a little bit, you know. Gotta give him that time. But good start here though for the Abrams. I mean, not necessarily a strong character in lane, so I'm curious as to the reasoning as to putting him in this mid lane. Mid lane usually being one of the very crucial lanes at the higher level because it's the easiest lane to rotate to and away from.
Yeah, maybe it's just a wave clear consideration. Maybe they have a particular duo that they normally like. Sometimes teams will oftentimes send their best players in mid lane to either win it immediately or kind of never lose it, one of those two options, and maybe that's just the case we're seeing here. But, you know, we've got some other lanes to take a peek at. We've got a Billy Mina set up against a Shiv Paradox on our left side, which is a pretty interesting one. I think what we see is a lot of these lanes have this kind of like frontliner plus damage kind of duo setup here, and not sure that I've seen a whole lot of Shiv Paradox lanes, but that one is going to have a lot of random poke damage, and Billy's going to be pretty upset in this lane. I think Mino will probably be fairly alright in this situation. And on our right side, we've got an Infernus Lash against a Haze and Mo and Krill. Again, there's a lot of poke damage set up pretty well in both of these lanes. I think the Infernus and Lash might, well, maybe they won't, because Mo is really quite a menace in the lane, isn't he?
Mo is a pretty strong laner right now, but he did get hit decently hard by this latest patch with the item just purchased on Mo here. That Quicksilver reload being reduced by 11 damage is gonna have pretty serious impacts on Mo and Krill because you heal all the damage from that scorn that you're trying to do with the QSR.
We'll see how that adjusts the lane pressure, although they're getting a pretty good push. It looks like everybody's kind of taking a pretty decent job. We'll see some early boxes stolen here. Yeah, very nice job, Mose. Johnny on the spot. It is minute 3, so boxes have been available as we see a little scuffle here. Billy trying to find some openings against this Shiv and Paradox. I think they should have the better in this lane, but so far pretty even. Maybe teams kind of feeling it out. This is everybody's second game of the day, so we're a little bit warmer, kind of getting things along. We've kind of been sat at it for about an hour 45 now at this point, so teams are, you know, maybe kind of settled in a little bit more, maybe not so anxious, maybe trying to adjust for losses or maybe adjust for new game plans, how to improve their own teamwork.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely gotta do some adaptations from that game 1. I mean, there's always positives and negatives to take away from games, and I'm seeing something very interesting here from the Mo and Krill. I'm not sure if this guy has read the patch notes, but he has a Veilwalker queued up right now and ready to get bought. And Veilwalker being nerfed very much in the early game for that healing, so is he just gonna buy this and just try to mass roam, or I'm curious on what the plan is here with that item.
I imagine that is the plan. I don't think Veilwalker is a dead item, but certainly he has to adjust. Like this can't be auto bot next at like what 6 minutes is what he's gonna attempt to get that at, something crazy there. But maybe does Paradox have it as well, or am I going? Are we going crazy? We might be going.
No, Paradox has that as well. It might be a little bit of a bug. I've seen that happen in some replays and spectating things, but we'll deal with it once it's actually been bought. How about that? Saw Monster Runs there getting bought by the Mo real quick, so we'll see what ends up happening. It's gonna look for the buffs here. 5 minutes getting spawned, and yellow team is gonna get both set of buffs, I believe, being much more ready on the buffs than the other team. And I remember that at least as being one of the important parts of my DDS experience, that the buffs are crucial when you're trying to get back into competitive gameplay.
Yeah, it's a lot to be mindful of. Ooh, Execute, my goodness, is already out for Shiv. First blood on the dive into this Billy and Mina lane. Billy has to go down here. Certainly set up this dive. Paradox is there for it, so good start for Urn Baiters as they find the dive against the lane that they probably should have been beaten. So all things is as normal. Abrams doing a pretty nice job of avoiding damage. This mid lane is stalemated pretty hard, as well as the right. So this right lane of Shiv and Paradox, Noob and Gamma doing a pretty nice job so far creating space for their team. And you can just sort of trade here, trying to find some advantages, but really nice job clearing waves. But you talked about the rotations to the buffs. That stuff is going to be important. It's really going to show like who's more prepared and communicating.
Yeah, and it's a very important thing to be mindful of when you're playing in these team environments. Something that my team, when I was playing the DDS originally, struggled a lot with, you know, getting adapted into that competitive mindset where you have to focus a lot more on the objectives rather than the kills usually. A bit of a change now in the meta though, I will say. I mean, objectives being worth maybe a little less and kills maybe being a little strong right now, but we'll see what ends up happening.
Mina got that Nox Nostra online, so she is looking to stack up her love bites, only +2 right now, but we'll see that increase as the game goes on. That tower is just a little bit over half HP, everything else fairly untouched as we see Abrams doing a little bit of counter jungling early. I kind of like this maneuver, cold front siphon life, and he's going to steal some camps away, leaving Talon to get some solo farm on mid. It's a pretty nice maneuver. Will the hero shooters kind of recognize this opportunity and put some pressure on this tower before Abrams makes it back to the lane? He's already almost there, so pretty nice job stealing some farm away.
Mirage gonna get taken.
Catching Mirage. See a last stand come out as well as the impact hit the ground, but man, that last stand is taking so hard. Abrams is sad. Hit a wall bounce. No, he goes down. Drops the 200
Abrams trying to use that seismic impact to get out of there, but he gets caught by the cage of the Warden in the middle of his impact, and he's just gonna fall down and get absolutely hunted down by the last stand from that Warden. Good play coming out, and that's gonna be a tower as well, going to the side of Hero Shooters Anonymous on that mid lane. Maybe opening up a little bit of rotation coming out of this Warden on Mirage, maybe.
Yeah, so one slight miscalculation changes the entire dynamic of that mid lane that had stalemated. We see Hayes and Nolan Krill already fighting. The bullet dance coming out on top of the combo should be enough. Nolan first sneaks away, but Lash flies back in, will tank the rest of the damage. Wind up going down for the F3. I don't think he had to go in there, but trying to save your teammate there puts you in a little bit of a bad position. Unlucky there for your Lash player. The Butler Cow might think twice next time.
Lash doing a great Secret Service impression there. Get down, Mr. President, and he's gonna take the fall instead. Meanwhile, here on this mid lane, pretty stale so far. I mean, one tower already being down, but the Urnbaiter side not letting any of the players rotate around. Instead, they're gonna go for the rotate themselves. I mean, this Abrams gonna go for the doubles immediately and just leave this Great Talon on her own to take that wave.
They've been doing a nice job of kind of like balancing and allocating, taking farm and taking solo wave. It's actually a really nice maneuver. Like Abrams is sat here just clearing out jungles, and Great Talon gets the benefit of the solo lane experience. It's really effective. You can see Warren is only now getting to some of the centers on their side of the map, and I think all of them are now cleared by now. So I think some of the coaching coming through on getting those centers is showing here as Mina and Billy try to scrap. Mina will go down, but Paradox is a little bit low. Billy might have the finisher here. Ooh, gets parried. No, in the end. Swap to come out. Paradox is living. No! My goodness. That swap HP plus the parry just survives. Man. So unfortunate for Gil there, who almost found a kill in exchange for the Mina.
Yeah, that just shows you what one parry can do in a game like this. I mean, Noob really playing well on that Paradox, recognizing that, hey, he's gonna go for a melee here, gonna parry it and get that kill for themselves. Also good response by his teammate, and setting them up pretty well for this mid game as they have a small lead.
Got a nice replay here brought to you by Metal. Again, thank you. They're a brand new sponsor. We see this scuffle. Mina very low here. Shiv opts take down Mina first. Billy come in. It looked pretty good. And then the parry. Oh my goodness. You saw the swap HP come through. And unfortunately, Bill just baited himself there. Could be, you know, a little bit of the problem when you play these heroes that have strong melees, you're kind of tempted to use it more often than not and get in trouble doing so. So Raj here tanking a bit of bird damage. No worse for wear in the exchange. We saw another Guardian go down, so it's 1 for 1 on both. So actually, it was the right lane Guardian gone down as well? No, that was still up. So it is 1 Guardian for each side. Even souls right now as we are past the 10-minute mark. First earn is available, but there's a lot of towers up, so I wonder if anybody's going to push for it, or very likely we'll just see them kind of stalemate out in lane and try to play it out a little bit more.
They stay lane here in general. Scratch that. Lash gonna go for a little bit of a grapple action into the flock. Try to do damage onto that haze, but he's gonna take a little bit of damage himself by that Mo, who's gonna come in, try to save the day here, and pretty stale so far.
It's interesting that usually after the Guardians go down, we see a lot of teams kind of like rotate around and start to make moves, but both teams here are opting to keep the 2-2-2 going on. See Shiv kind of dancing around the burn area. Nice little, alt-click movement there. We see we got that down pat. Very cool. We had some hero rotations. They kept the 2-2-2, but Shiv and Abrams now kind of digging around for some problems. Haze, a little bit of trouble. I wonder if they'll rip the death line. There it is. Do they cover the angle? No, Haze does not escape, so here comes the follow, but the bullet dance return damage is insane, and Lash is going to go down underneath the burrow. My goodness, what a good turn out of Hoisin and Nolan Blue here. Combo now onto Infernus. It's going to be another kill. 3 streak onto this Haze. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, and Haze, I gotta say, a little bit of an underrated pick at the moment. Has a pretty strong early game, actually, for a gun character, and is a great pairing with that Mo, being able to just shut down and kill targets that you get comboed pretty efficiently. But it's also a pretty decent early game character. The Warden gonna use that last stand onto the Paradox, and he's gonna go down now. 5k ahead for Hero Shooters Anonymous, and they gotta be using that lead somehow. I mean, we'll see what ends up happening with it.
Speaking of 5k ahead, just look at the soul allocation. We just saw Phantom Triforce get that solo kill onto the Paradox, but look at the gold, the souls discrepancy. 13k on this Warden is really huge. He's got an insane soul per minute at this point in the game, and I'm not sure who can really deal with that right now.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I mean, I'm definitely seeing some interesting things happen here in this game so far. But it looks like this Shiv is going to try to deal with this Warden. Abrams as well going to charge in immediately into the front line. Billy going to have to go a little bit in and help. But they're going to get their sinners once again. And maybe this is the time where Billy, this Shiv, getting at the K up and running. And what an interesting build coming out from this Shiv.
This is pure knife. It's fully maxed. You see the surge of power. It is not really tanky by any means, but of course Shiv always has bloodletting, so he's naturally a little bit tankier than your average Joe on the field. So pretty interesting. Is definitely damage first, snipe first. So we'll see if that continues to pan out. We finally had a Guardian traded on the mid lane. The Infernus Paradox pushed up and got a little bit of an advantage there. So pretty nice turn for the Urn Bidders to find that, but again, maybe it's a little strange from my perspective, but just a lot of like 2v2s in every lane as we just kind of almost default in clear jungle and just kind of passing time is almost hitting the 15-minute mark. Second Urn is going to spawn just momentarily.
Yeah, both teams playing a little
taken.
Both teams playing a little scared right now in general, trying to go for these 2v2s, making sure that the waves stay pushed, stay up and running, make sure that they have the map control necessary to go for those larger objectives. But none of them really gonna get down. 15 minutes and this Guardian's still up on this lane. More Guardians as well actually being up. There's 3 Guardians not taken at 15 minutes. So it's definitely a weird game.
Yeah, 2 of them belong to Urn Baiters, so they're pretty happy in their seat, but they do have a haze problem, and it's not the, kind of compy Spirit Dagger haze that we see. This is a pretty traditional fire. I believe this is the Renault build. I've been playing quite a bit of haze. I think that is the build. It's kind of like 1-for-1, but Fury Trance already online, and looking for Spirit Sap next, which should turn into Silence Wave. Pretty compy selection there. Nice movement from Shiv to escape. He's got 100 HP. What's the move here? Gonna alt fire. Is it enough? Oh, the slice and dice 40 HP. Ooh, he's still taking away from bloodletting, but he'll be alright to cleanse it. Wow, nice escape there. Just barely hanging on. We see this haze continuing to cause some havoc. Abrams with seismic impact to try to create some space. Gonna go for the trade on the moan. Really will go down, but we'll dive forward 5-kill streak onto the haze now. Oh goodness, and finds the Great Talon who just went forward instead. Now just gonna burn away. Oh my god. Just gonna dance around the side. No way he lives. No way. How much HP we have to check? It's like 80. There's no shot. The reinforcements are finally coming, and Hayes is in so much trouble now. The Butler cow finally gets the trade, and after all, Great Talon just walked away, but that was way close. Nice movement around the side.
Hayes getting too scared of diving down this Talon. It's gonna cost her life. Maybe should have gone a little bit more aggressive there, getting that last hit as the Talon arrows did a lot of work on her, but it's gonna lead eventually to getting a tower here, but they're gonna give up 2 kills for this. I'm not sure that was worth it for Hero Shooters Anonymous.
Yep, either way, they are now the team has lost all their Guardians first. They were already kind of on that trajectory with Urn Vaders keeping the right Guardian still alive. 17 minutes now, second Urn is on the table, but neither of these teams seem to really care. They're pretty content to just keep their lanes pushed and keep out keep clearing their jungles and Sinners, which isn't a bad strategy, but it is definitely a boring one.
Now, this is pretty typical if this was an EU game we were watching. I mean, this is kind of how EU teams, at least my team, likes to play. Very slow, very methodical, likes to play around the objectives, but hey, you know what? Sometimes a shiv just says, no, I'm a shiv you.
Yeah, surge of power, almost completely spirit damage here with Mystic Shopping. The only other type of item here is pretty pretty fun. That knife definitely took care of business there against Mirage, who was trying to escape with his teleportation. But so far, Soul's still fairly even. Wave states are all kind of just hanging around mid, and Warren's in an interesting position, but feeling very confident. Actually, Ops would rip the last stand just for a Paradox. This is a little much. I mean, even if this winds up in a kill, it's just it's a bit interesting. The turn is going to come. Mina's his only backup. Abrams short charge catches. Now he's trying to run for the hills. He's got no more damage left. Now he's got, I didn't even realize he's got Lightning Scroll online already. He's very aggressive on that tier 4 buy this early, but he actually gets out for all that aggression.
Yeah, very interesting build coming out from that Warden. Gonna forego the Cultist Sacrifice of that pretty standard alt Warden build. I mean, it's definitely an angle to take now that Cultist has been nerfed, and it's gonna be interesting to see what it's gonna be able to do in the later game, not having used all those souls for that Cultist.
Maybe they're not favoring the Cultist after the update. I can respect the adjustment. Also, you know, they're like your name implies, there is a particular tempo that sometimes can affect your team's ability to win games. And if going the Lightning Scroll this early, like if he's going to run around and continue to make space for his team and create picks, essentially, like, you know, he could really take over this game. But it's going to be on Urn Vaders to stop that. It's a difficult character to play into at any point of the game, but when he's your highest fed player on Hero Shooters, then he's doing pretty good for himself.
Playing to his strengths, and I do really like that. However, there's definitely some other strengths of Hero Shooters Anonymous that needs to be fixed. I mean, if you're looking at the soul allocation, they're in a lot of trouble, just like Billy and Mo are right here. Getting caught in between a rock and a hard place. Mo gotta go down immediately. Billy not too far off. 2 members going down. Rammer Hammer on that Great Talon, gonna extend that kill streak a little bit more. On a 4 kill streak now. Can he continue that? No, it seems like the fight's dying down now, but 2 kills gotten for Urn Vaders on Hero Shooters Anonymous, and that's gonna result in an Urn pickup as well. It's looking really good for them.
Finally, the first Urn of the game is actually picked up. It only took 2 spawns to get to that point. That was a really bad decision from the hero shooters side. They kind of baited their team into a bad spot just to try to steal one center, and maybe just tanking damage the entire time. So really nice job for Urnbaiters to kind of punish that aggression. We see Noob here on this Paradox trying to just make a little bit of space. There should be plenty of time to turn this Urn in for free. I think they're taking it a little cautiously. Hayes is keeping an eye on things. They did rip the Death Slam, to be sure, but I would have considered holding that until you knew a little better. But anyways, that'll be up not too long anyways. So
it might have been a little bit of, you know, the on-stage jitters, you know, like it could happen with a little bit of performance and anxiety. Having your game stream here can be a little bit of a taxing factor, at least.
Yeah, that was a little bit of just in case. At the end of the day, it doesn't really hurt. Like I said, that Death Slam will be back online pretty shortly as we see bird flying across the map. No one really low on the side of hero shooters. Maybe it's wave clear or trying to create an opening. We see a 4-man rotation, but the Veil Walker, man, it created just enough space this Mo and Quill's going to be able to walk out. So we talked about that purchase, and you know, in this particular instance, it did enable him to kind of walk out of the situation. Furnace, though, might be in a little bit of trouble. Hayes, a bit far up, though. Seismic Impact. Abrams really wants to chase this. Oh, it actually does catch it in mid-air. The jump, though, nice dodge. And now,
what's happening?
Now Warren is here with the Lightning Scroll turnaround. God damn, good movement out of Hayes to kind of dodge that shoulder charge. Even after the impact connected, that was really nice bait there by Hayes. Phantom Triforce coming in to clean up things on the back end as well.
That's just the beauty of a deadlock fight right there. 1 second the fight looks really good for you. The next there's a charging Warden coming at you, ready to change the world. And change the world he does. Picking up Pork on that Abrams. Noob as well gonna go down here, and it's staying an even game just like it was before. Both teams not really getting the edge over the other right now, it would seem.
We do see a little bit of push out of the Hayes Billy trying to get up to Walker. Oh my god, the damage coming out on Shiv in so much trouble now. Did he buy green items yet? I'm not sure. Still trying to dance around, will go down. Another kill handed over to Phantom Triforce, and we see a huge soul advantage. You see the number underneath that Warden?
Yeah, this Warden is basically the entire team right now for Hero Shooters Anonymous. Anywhere the Warden is, if I'm Urnbaiters and I'm IGLing this, I'm calling, you see Warden, you leave, okay? We are not fighting this guy. Bait out his ult, and then we are gone, okay?
Yeah, he is definitely a problem. I wonder if they will prioritize getting some debuff removers to kind of avoid the lightning scroll proc, but they might just be a little bit too poor. They are only 2k down, so it's not like the game is getting away for them, but we see Mo and Quell Mirage trying to grab Grey Talon here. Pretty aggressive maneuver into the jungle, but look at the wave states. They're really happy with how this is set up right now.
Pretty good wave states in general for Hero Shooters Anonymous, I would say. I mean, they're getting the waves pretty pressured here. That's gonna put the ball in Urnbaiters' court. They are gonna have to do something here to stop it. Lash here, getting caught out a little bit on this building. He's gonna try to chase him down, try to find an angle for that knife hit, but he's not confident enough to try and just bink it. Then again, there's a Grayson here as well, and no, and suddenly,
ooh, here comes the
slam from
the concussion.
downtown.
Combustion is out. Big Death Slam, will he catch? No, actually misses everything, but the bird follow-up onto Hayes in so much trouble now, very likely to go down. Billy got out of dodge as that situation turned on its head very, very quickly. Really nice turnaround by Urnbaiters to defend their side of the map and kind of put a hold on this Hayes, who was kind of running away with the game early. Now it's kind of plateaued here as we approach the 25-minute mark. Next Urn shortly to spawn.
This Shiv build, I am very interested in. This is a very greedy Shiv build. You were talking earlier on when we were in the draft about, maybe this Shiv or this Abrams are gonna buy some green items. And this Shiv just saying, yeah, hold my beer, I'm gonna do the exact opposite.
we did talk about it, and you know, I'd be curious at this point, yeah, to check in on the Abrams build, which is kind of just a standard, but made sure to get his life strike fairly early because he is going to have to be the front line. Essentially, you've got your Shiv as a pure DPS carry. Like, that's just the state of this game. Like, your Infernus, your Talon, your Paradox, and your Shiv are all just straight carry because, you know, he is still, at this point, not buying a green item at all. Like, the only defense is a regeneration and the bloodletting. And, you know, good on him. I think it's worked for his case so far.
And no heal bane, no anything. I mean, I would have definitely bought some sort of green item at this point. But hey, if he wants DPS, he wants DPS. And look, they want DPS right now. Mole and Blue.
My goodness.
Gonna go and take down Noob already.
That execution was perfectly connected. You saw them fly into lane, kill Paradox instantly. So really, really good job there from the hero shooters as Shiv is trying to find a fight, but Mo and Krill has arrived. Ooh, does he get a trade? He does get the execute kill onto Warden. That's a really huge turn for Shiv here, who's probably going to die. Certainly not going to outplay this, but the regeneration is actually ticking. His bloodline got cleansed, and now he's actually living this scenario to get out of this, to kill the Warden and escape is really big here. Moon Krill is still sticking around, but he doesn't want this 1v1. Shiv is just going to wait patiently to try to escape this scenario, but that's a huge turnaround. Like, getting the Warden off the board when he's 31k souls is so big for the Urn Baiters here.
All right, Urn Baiters, IGL here. Thanos is down. Go, push the objectives. I mean, I want to see a little bit more active gameplay around the objectives if I'm Urn Baiters right now. Both sides just fighting to fight right now. And it's going to be a perfect showing here. Hayes going to go down immediately because she's going for a pretty greedy pick on the secret shop here of Urn Baiters. And she's going to go down for it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, Urn Baiters have a little bit more space to work with than I think they realize. And now they're finally moving the Urn across the board. You see 4 heroes rotated over. It's a 4-1-1 split in their favor. I don't think the hero shooters are responding in time, so this should wind up being a pretty free Urn. We do have Last Stand online, so we'll see. They do want to think about this contest. But as they realize there's too many heroes here, they will back off, kind of clear out the sinners, and their lanes are in a bad way right now. They have 3 pushing in, 1 Walker half HP, and Shiv is uncontested. Mirage is pulling up, but bad wave states, free Urn, really nice maneuver. Now we see about 12k lead. Stomp just missing there. Pretty big deal is Shiv. Yeah, he's got that movement. He's got it.
He knows how to press that right click efficiently, and he is good at it, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm also seeing that miracles do actually happen. Shiv almost gonna buy a green item, but they're gonna take him down before he can buy it. Gamma gonna lose his life here. And Mo and Krill with that Phantom Strike online, pretty scary now for the side of Urn Baiters.
Yeah, green items. Great items. Mo and Blue says, yep, I'm going to take over this game by buying the item that's going to enable me to do so. So, you know, any kind of green item from Shiv there, he probably lives and maybe fights that 2v1, but we see an aggressive maneuver with just 2 off the board, and mid-boss is now extremely low HP, seismic impact, but they pull off. This is really impressive to fight the Abrams, but actually, as I say that, they just continue and take him down. The entire team is here, though. What is the contest? Early parry, try to catch somebody's been a hit, but no, Legion goes the way. Urn Baiters steal 2 there. They actually get 2. Abrams goes down. So after all's said, they killed they killed the mid boss and take the fight at the wrong time. Urn Baiters steal 2 here. Now Abrams is still not dead. He's kind of sneaking out of this situation with 3 following him. I'm not sure how he gets out, but a warp zone will make enough space. He's gonna walk away. That's a huge turn for Urn Baiters to steal there and get out. They only lost Shiv. Actually, no, Shiv died in the side lanes. They didn't lose anybody for that contest.
Great contest there from Urn Baiters. Only 1 rejuve left for the side of Hero Shooters Anonymous, but Urn Baiters gonna maybe lose the talent here. That lightning scroll coming out clutch, but you know, it comes out even more clutch. The luck of this talent gonna survive with almost no hit points left, and gotta do a cheeky little you know, BM in the chat there with the hee and we'll see if the other team responds well to that. I mean, so far they have a small lead on Urn Baiters, but there's still 1 rejuve credit on Hero Shooters Anonymous.
We're fighting over buffs here a little bit. It looks like Warden might have gotten the Spirit buff, which is going to be really, really good. They still have one rejuve. It's worth noting, Invaders had a pretty nice soul advantage, but taking the mid-boss down kind of closed that gap. So they retain one Rejuvenator on Hero Shooter's side. So in the end, it favors pretty well for them. So we'll kind of, you know, almost set back to a neutral spot here. Man, this town build is kind of really coming together. Spirit Burn and Reverb already on the line for him, so he's feeling fairly good after that narrow escape. The soul of last stand we saw was kind of crazy.
Ash gonna use the boost here, maybe try to get active on a side lane or something, picking up a bunch of 6.4k items. But Haze, you're gonna use a Silence Wave on the Shiv, and I mean, you might have bought a Heal Bane at this point, but no Heal Bane's gonna save you from an angry Haze who just wants to kill you. Same with the Mo here and the Billy. I mean, that's some hate criming right there onto Noob on the Paradox.
I couldn't have said it better myself. They are trying to bird to find a little bit of kill in exchange, but nothing going the way. You're right. The chain gang, the combo, it was all set out. This Mo build is so hateful. Silence Wave, Warpstone, Phantom Strike. A good luck escaping him the second he's on your screen.
Yeah, but once again, looking at this game, no walkers have been killed at 31 minutes. This game, every team just fighting for fighting's sake, not really worried about the objectives here. And Lash is gonna chuck this Warden in and remind him of that objective. As the walker's gonna stun the Warden, but he's gonna be able to pop his last stand. Actually, finally, first walker taken off the game at 32 minutes.
That is worst case scenario though for Lash here and the Urnbaiters, because they threw the Warden underneath the Walker and essentially got nothing for it. Like, that's the character that you want to get, but got nothing off. So you lose your Walker, you lose a couple of heroes, and now Hero Shooters Anonymous again have so much space on the map. The soul difference is swelling again as we see pressure on across the map on the other Walkers. The second one's going down, and maybe the third one as well. Like, look at the positioning. Mo, Billy, and Mina are already here. Haze might make the rotation, but Urnbaiters are here to defend. Let's see if they can just barely hold on. Billy is now at a point that he's starting to create a lot of space himself. But you look at the souls on the Hero Shooters side, like, they're starting to get a lot of farm on these carries. Haze and Shiv scrapping again. Shiv doesn't want any part of this. There's still no green items, man. It's just the Heal Bane. You'd think by now you'd get the picture, but apparently not. Haze just trying to escape. Abrams looking for something, but now Mirage is finally online, trying to take a part in these fights. Getting a little bit worse from this Abrams. Can he get the stun? No. The Traveler will take him out to safety. So nice job across the board from the Hero Shooters, only losing the Mo and taking quite a lot off the map for it.
Both teams being so occupied fighting that they still are forgetting about what actually matters in this game, and the only thing that actually matters is to take down that patron. They're really just fighting a bunch, and it's making for a very entertaining game, but they gotta stay focused on the objective at hand here, which is to win the game ultimately, and not just win fights.
Yep, this Infernus is starting to come online, which is some good news. I believe we saw a Ricochet as well, so this Spirit debuff is going to be fairly important as we get closer to team fights, if we ever do, because I think all we've seen is, like, you know, 3v1s, 2v1s across each side lane, nothing really beyond that. So like we said, these team fights are going to become more and more important, but we'll see at what point they decide to actually prioritize that, because we are hitting 35 minutes. The next urn will be very shortly, and a lot of walkers to still be taken. There's a lot of game to still be played. I feel like we might be in this one for another 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, certainly having the expected outcome of being a long game so far, and we're at the point right now where both teams are kind of just wondering, what do I actually do with my money? Especially this Warden got to be thinking a lot about it. But one thing he's not thinking about is how to get kills, because he's just doing that effortlessly. Gotta take down Noob here immediately. Mo as well, you gotta look for a combo, but Tenacity, he's gonna go down, and Hero Shooters Anonymous have a great opportunity here. The Butler Cow going down. Rammer Hammer also down. I mean, suddenly, with just one split fight, they are completely in control of the game here.
Yeah, I think the idea that this was going to be a pick haze at any point of the game is now just completely gone. They just said, you know, give us more carries, no problem. Mirage, Mana, Warden, Haze, like just stack them up. We're all farming. It's going to be all right. Invaders with 4 heroes down will lose the last of their walkers, and Hero Shooters Anonymous in a tremendous position now. About 40k solely. There is an urn to be taken. I'm surprised they haven't moved to grab it. There's 4 heroes dead. There's no bid. Oh, as I say that, mid boss does just spawn, so I think it'll be a quick rotation. In fact, they are already in the pin. There's going to be no contest now.
These guys had those times written down. They were all gathering there immediately, and that's one of the things that can really set you apart from a lot of the other teams. I mean, even my team, to this day, having been together for a long time, we are very bad at remembering these times. So, I mean, it's definitely a great sign that they're already thinking about these parts of the game.
Handling a little bit of a mouse issue as the Hero Shooters Anonymous side, but definitely right about that. My goodness, 11-3-1 Poison on the freaking Haze. Holy moly. It's not even like he's, you know, targeted one player in particular. If you look at the side of Urn Baiters, everybody's got a pretty decent spread of those deaths. He's just always in the right place at the right time and has really taken over from, you know, what Phantom Triforce had done on the Warden so far. So we check in on the Shiv green items buying status. That Radiant Regeneration has some green in it, no?
Yeah, I mean, if you squint...
Technically, escalating exposure has some chartreuse, which is some sort of in between from green to yellow. So if we want to make the argument that Gamma has a little bit more green items, then we can do so. Technically.
Yeah, I mean,
all right, that argument didn't go anywhere.
I mean, definitely something. I mean, I remember a certain team in the DSL playoffs winning it out almost with almost no green items bought on Ivy. I believe that was, what was it? The replacements they were called.
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, you don't know anything about that? Yeah.
I've got no idea who plays on it. Probably just a bunch of Smurfs, I'm sure.
A little bit of banter between casters here, but in the meantime here, Urn Baiters gonna be very pressured here by Hero Shooters Anonymous. Getting all the way up into this mid lane. They're looking for a fight right now. You can very much tell.
As they should be. 3 rejuvenators. Obviously, after the latest patch, there's 1 less on the second mid boss take. So just sitting on 3 still very powerful, and I like the maneuver that they're going for. They're grabbing the urn here. This is a really bad fight if Urn Baiters want to go and kind of take this one. It's in a, you know, it is the comeback urn, so they do want to try to contest it, but this is really a bad position. If they bite on this, they could lose the game immediately. But
yeah, but look at how they're playing the map right now. Hero Shooters Anonymous. They're just standing there waiting for them to make the first move, almost Urn Baiters. Just taking all the positioning so they can get this urn for free without even needing to fight for it. And it's gonna pay off for them, getting the urn for free. Perhaps maybe getting some mid guardians soon. Abrams on a bit of an island here with the haze. Oisan gotta find Park here, and holy damage. That's some haze items right there. Glass Cannon Lucky Shot really showing its worth, but no greens. That Glass Cannon takes your max HP. Hoisan gonna go down here. No more reju for you. Still 2 left though for Hero Shooters Anonymous, and yeah, I mean, good start to the fight overall.
Fight's going okay for the favor of Urn Baiters, all things considered, but to not have Death Slam right now is kind of a huge opening for the Hero Shooters to kind of take base here. They might be opting to back off. I'm not sure what their plan is quite frequently. Quite frankly, Billy goes down in the side lane, so another Rejuvenator off the board. They're only left with 1. And there's like 3 heroes. The Mo, the Haze, and the Warden are just like middling around the center of the map. Like, are they hunting for this Shiv? he pushed out the side wave to kind of create space, but
Where's
like,
the Shiv?
I'm not sure what's going on right now.
Shiv's just in no man's land right now. He's like, let's take some camps or something. Meanwhile, I mean, Hero Shooters Anonymous here, they're doing a lot of things right now. They're pushing in the objectives. They're making sure they have control of where this game is gonna go. Shiv deciding to actually go for this wave instead. Maybe could try to get that pushed out towards the walker and make sure Hero Shooters Anonymous have to pressure him in some way. Otherwise, that's gonna be rough for them.
Do the hero shooters have... Oh no, I guess it's the haze that is doing the gun down. I was just like looking across... I'm looking at this Warren build. Which is, he finally bought Unstoppable just now, but until then, Lightning Scroll, Spirit Burn, Boundless, Transcendent, Refresher. Like, it's just... These builds are wacky. I mean, it's working because they're up about 1 million souls, but... Man, if this was a little bit of a closer game, you'd call that almost a throw at that point. But I'm fairly confident in the way that things are staying right now. Did he sell his Majestic Leap? Am I crazy? Did I not see that in his actives?
I don't know.
Not sure about it.
I didn't really look, but yeah, no, he sold it.
What? Okay, all right.
Perhaps valuing that Unstoppable a little bit more, or the Refresher. Who knows? Point is, he doesn't have it anymore.
No comment. No comment. We see the 40-minute urn now finally spawning. Funnily enough, this is probably only the 3rd urn take of the game. It is another comeback. I can't imagine that urn baiters really want to contest this one, although there are no rejuvenators. They are still down. Oh my gosh, what's the math? It's like nearly 60,000 souls. 60,000! Yeah, they're not in position to contest this one. It should be a free walk-in. Technically, they're doing the right thing by defending their base, but this game continues to get out of hand in the hero shooters' favor.
I mean, surely hero shooters can just walk up into the base soon and just kill them. I would imagine that's how this game should be going right now. But they're playing it very safe, and maybe a bit of an artifact here. Maybe caused by, you know, this bit of a, you know, stage anxiety, stage scaredness. Not remembering the word right now for it, but Abram's gonna go in immediately here.
We see the full team fight breaking out. Last Stand is doing an insane amount of damage. 3 kill streak as 2 players fall. Abrams now catches the combo. Refresher, second Last Stand coming out. It didn't matter that he did not have the Majestic Leap. They just faced up front to back, and now with 4 players down on Urn Baiters, they're going to drop the Patron, and this is surely going to be the end of the game. Those respawn timers are going to be way, way too long now. And the hero shooters are still way too healthy to stop this one.
Yes, but good news, everyone. Don't worry about it. Urn Baiters got the left walker. Minions took it for them. They have a chance. Trust, guys. Flash here gonna try that ultimate, but Haze Knife is gonna find him, and ultimate gonna be popped by the Haze, but it doesn't matter. I mean, Hero Shooters Anonymous gonna take down the game.
GG's come out. Hero Shooters Anonymous take the game with an overwhelming soul advantage that really kind of began to escalate at the first mid-boss take. Although it was chaotic, it netted them the initial lead, and then at that point we start to see the general deadlock objective macro kind of come into play, because before that point it was 2v2s for 20 minutes, remember? And then after that point it was, you know, urn after urn after urn after urn after mid-bosses, and, you know, after majestically blast stands everywhere. So I mean, Hoisin made a ton of space on that Haze that we thought was going to be a pick, but turned out to just be a raw gun damage character. You see 13, 3, and 4 only being eclipsed in damage by the Last Stand Phantom Triforce. 7, 1, and 6. Nothing to scoff at there. He kind of created so much space in that mid game, and that soul lead was just way, way too much. And it's hard to even blame Sapphire team for getting to that scenarios, but the Urn Baiters had some opportunities to kind of move the urn earlier across the map, and it just looks like they weren't as focused on it as they might have needed to be to kind of keep up in this game.
really long game overall, and definitely some interesting things happening there. I mean, the refresher actually getting a little bit of value there in that last fight, and it ends up winning them the game. I mean, if your ult is your only playstyle, why not just refresh it? Have 2 of them. That sounds like a great idea to me.
Yeah, the ult that's like on a 60-something second cooldown anyway.
That's not
It's
important.
fine.
That's not important.
It's a tempo buy. It's a tempo buy when you're ending the game.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hell
So
yeah.
anyways, congratulations. The hero shooters take that their second game. I lack the actual standing, so I'm not sure if they're 1-1 or they're 2-0, but that was the second game of the day. We have one more in line for you guys for these Swiss games today, so it's going to be fun as we continue to climb up the divisions. We take a look overall. We were in Division 2, and let's see. Hero Shooters, Anonymous, and oh, that was the game we just watched. So the Hero Shooters had lost their first game, and where are the Earn Baiters? Let's see. They were both 0-1. So now Earn Baiters are 0-2, and the Hero Shooters are 1-1. So one of the teams feeling okay with their day so far, and unfortunately Earn Baiters at the 11th seed kind of pick themselves up at this point. There is still one more game to play, and nobody's eliminated today. There is a tournament day coming up on the following weekend, but for today it's just kind of seeding. But the Earn Baiters are going to have to pull something together in this last game of the day to kind of salvage what is their first day of competition.
Yeah, and it's important to remember that seeding, while being a pretty crucial part of the knockout tournament happening next weekend, I will say, I mean, I think in most of the DDSs that have happened, it's not necessarily been the number 1 seed that does win. So, I mean, even if you don't win out all your games today or anything for any of these teams, all that really matters is you get that practice in, you try to go for that seeding, try to see what you should be playing, what you should be doing as a team, and just improving on that until the next weekend.
Yep. I think back to even, hate to make this about us all the time, but it is the direct experience. Like we're both DDS players, and our first tournament we lost every single screen going into, and then what did we do game day? We locked the flip in and we made it all the way to finals, and we lost to a very good team at that time. And but like you said, the seeding, while important, doesn't really tell the tale. So there's a lot of deadlock to still be played here, and that was a pretty fun game, although it was pretty slow. There were some pretty fun moments to kind of reminisce about, and I think we'll probably be ready to take a short little break here before our next set, and in that time we'll take some we'll enjoy the replays that are brought to you by Metal TV. So thank you, shout out to them. And don't forget, there is a giveaway that will be concluded after the third game today. So ! Giveaway in chat. Thank you to Corsair for providing that to us today. There's 3 things that could be won. So check in on those things. We'll take a little break. You guys get some water and be back shortly. And we'll kind of round out today's games with a Division 1 matchup. Should be very exciting to see that one.
Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm here on the A stream. I was just on the B stream looking at the other game, and we just had an incredible game, incredibly long. I was watching towards the end, didn't see all of it, but hopefully we get some more movie games. Now we are going to be covering a Division 1 game of both the teams that are undefeated at the moment. So that should be very, very interesting. I believe that it's Lane Janitors versus It's About to Get Sticky. And so yeah, they're both 2-0 right now. So you know, we got some good team names. But anyway, before we get into that, here's a couple of reminders. First of all, for those of you that haven't joined the giveaway already, type !giveaway in the chat. Sponsored by Corsair. So we've got 3 things to give away from Corsair. We've got the Saber V2 Pro Ultralight mouse, the Void V2 wireless headset, as well as the K70 mechanical keyboard. So if you're interested in joining that !giveaway, will give you the instructions. Basically, you can join our Discord, follow our socials, etc., etc., and it all gives you points. You can also scan the QR code. So, I mean, who's going to say no to free merch, right? Might as well. And just want to give a final thank you to Metal for sponsoring this event and allowing us to do this without being dependent on community donations. So this is the first time that we, as a, you know, I guess company, so to speak, have not depended on community donations to fund our events. So over the past like 6 months, That Slam Events has received a lot of community donations, and I want to make it clear that we really appreciate it, but we also want to be, you know, self-sufficient as much as possible. It doesn't mean we'll never do anything crowdfunded again. Obviously, it's always an option, but I'm really happy to be able to do this without, you know, being dependent upon the pockets of all the generous viewers at home. So thank you so much to Metal. But with that being out of the way, now we can focus on this last matchup. D1, both undefeated teams. These are, at the moment, the best teams that we have to showcase. Are you guys excited?
Extremely excited. We were just laughing about how we've had some like really interesting games, and even more so maybe the first one because it was such a higher tempo than the second game that we got to watch. But we've seen some pretty interesting deadlock, and I think both of us were kind of really absorbed in the drafting that we saw from Division 2, so I'm really interested to see if it improves going into Division 1.
Yeah, I mean, there's been definitely some very big changes going into the draft. I mean, we saw Division 3 first in our first game, playing a lot more for a team fight composition in general and just playing for ease of execution. Game 2, you know, a lot more traditional characters, a lot more M1s as an example, as a thing. Frontliners as well, being like the complete start of the draft with the exception of like Lash. So it's going to be interesting to see how Div 1 is going to handle the draft. Yeah,
I suspect that we'll see things that are a little bit closer to the quote-unquote expected meta. Have you guys seen any Grey Talon so far today? I feel like we've barely seen that character being played. You guys saw it?
Both games.
Both games. Both games.
Oh, really?
Both games.
Because in the games that I was watching on B stream, I wasn't seeing it at all.
I would have to double check, but I think that Grey Talon has been victorious in both games that we had seen. Maybe I'm misremembering right now, but I think it has been. If not, it's been successful, I should say, at the very least.
Okay, that's interesting, because I was talking about Grey Talon with Bean, one of our European coaches and player as well, and yesterday, and I was like, you know, I think Grey Talon is going to be a lot more reasonable now, in the sense I think he still has potential, still does a ton of damage for sure, but the flight nerf I think is more significant than a lot of people think, just because it kind of makes it so the character can't escape every situation ever anymore, because the stamina change, like you can't have infinite stamina usage after using flight. But anyway, I guess we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised to just see like the Kelvin just banned out or first picked once again. I did just see Kelvin Shiv lose on B stream, which was surprising. But there was a little bit of there was some interesting gameplay. Unfortunately, it was my team, the Deathy's Disciples. They had Kelvin Shiv. I was hoping that they would be able to pull it off. Unfortunately, they were winning, and then they weren't winning anymore, and they lost to Dynamo.
We were just remarking about a Shiv that we just watched in our previous game, who took about 20 minutes to buy a green item, and that first green item was Healbane. And then by the time the game ended, he sold his Mystic Shot and singular green item in favor for even more spirit items. So we've seen some interesting builds for sure, and some decisions playing Shiv, let's put it that way.
I guess he's not a big fan of greens.
he might not have had the survivability, but he definitely had the movement, though. I mean, that guy was a right-click mercenary. He knew exactly how to play around those slides. But
Yeah, he was pretty clean with it.
yeah.
Wow, Sinclair
All right, well,
first ban.
I didn't even have time to talk about it, but Sinclair and Pocket being banned out, that's actually very interesting, the Sinclair first ban. I don't think we've seen that today at all.
Oh,
I don't think I've even seen a Sinclair. It hasn't been sniffed anywhere.
I forgot that character existed.
This has to be a target ban, right? I mean, it has to be a target ban. Like, what other reason would there be?
It almost certainly has to be. I think all these players do have access to, the stat lockers from almost every other player, and if not, they're doing their research. If I know anything about players who are warming up for these tournaments, they're doing their research wherever they can get it. So if we see a first ban Sinclair, it's for a reason, unless they're just like, we want Kelvin and we want to not have the dome stolen. Maybe that's it. I don't know, but I think it's definitely targeted. Yeah, this is the first time we've actually seen Kelvin first picked. It was banned last game, but it's interesting to finally see it come out here.
Yeah, it's actually the first pick of Kelvin at all on the A stream so far. First game in Div 3, it was completely untouched throughout the entire draft.
That's right.
Didn't like it, but I think this is more standard, right? Like Yamato Paradox. Yamato coming back a little bit. I've been seeing a lot of Yamato second picks so far today. I think, she didn't get touched at all. A lot of the other heroes that were kind of like considered better than her got nerfed in some capacity. And Paradox also was considered already very high tier and didn't get touched at all either. And most of her items also didn't really get touched, right? So with the exception of Mystic Shot. But items like Headhunter actually got a significant buff on Paradox because you would usually see Hollow Point Ward being bought as well, and now Headhunter properly works when you have Bullet Resist Shred with you. So anyway, I think Paradox overall is probably like even stronger relatively, so I'm not too surprised. And then the classic Kelvin Shiv, very, very strong response, especially with Pocket being banned, one of the traditional counters to those heroes.
Yeah, it is interesting to see the Shiv get out for free. Like, is the Yamato that high priority after the rebalances? Because Moen, Krill, Abrams are still on the board, and they did get nerfed, but like, was it enough to warrant Yamato now scaling her over? Or, I mean, obviously we have to think about hero pools here, so maybe they just prefer the Yamato in this spot. But it's just interesting to see both of those heroes gonna go past here.
Yeah, I mean, Yamato's a pretty strong character right now in the meta. I would say in my experience from playing scrims and pubs in general, I don't see Yamato that often. Maybe it's a region difference in general, but I mean, it's not something we see a lot. Same with the Warden, actually. I don't see much Warden anymore either. I think most of the EU community, at least in general, has written off this hero as not being that strong anymore. So it's an interesting pick here for lane janitors. Perhaps valuing a little bit more of that team fighting and just general, health pools.
I think Warden is actually probably like super slept on right now, and I think he's gonna see like a very significant rise in the meta. Especially like I was talking to Lightbringer, the buff enjoyers coach, and I do think Gun Warden is gonna see like a big resurgence, like especially with another Blood Tribute buff again. Blood Tribute is kind of insane on this hero because he's got a ton of flat health. You don't see like you don't feel the drain at all, and it just feels really strong. So I think lane janitors just have a lot of heroes that are kind of unkillable or just very difficult to kill, and it's about to get sticky respawn with the Abrams, which is good to kind of like buffer out their front line. But I'm already a little bit worried about them because if Abrams gets isolated or Yamato gets isolated in the dome, I mean, it should be easy pickings for lane janitors, so I much prefer the start of the draft for them.
I mean, if they play some pretty traditional builds on the Paradox, as an example, on It's About to Get Sticky, they're gonna have some utility problems so far, so they really need to fix that in the later part of the draft.
This is part of the issue that happens when you leave Kelvin open for first pick, or just let it get past bans even in this case, because now Shiv is pretty happy playing into the Abrams Yamato where he might not have been if not assisted by a Kelvin in the first place. And now that top three from lane janitors is like really insane area control, and you can counter that with seismic impact and some tankiness between the resilience and just Yamato's shadow transformation. But there's a lot of things to account for. About to get sticky, ban out the Infernus, which is a pretty nice thing, but I feel like they might have been able to utilize Infernus fairly well into the lane janitor's comp. Doorman ban is kind of crazy too. No, Sinclair Doorman.
The gunman, I don't know. Like I think lane janitors are banning out a lot of the utility as well, with the Doorman and Sinclair gone, kind of limiting the options a little bit. Bebop for the side of it's about to get sticky. I don't hate the Bebop here. I don't think it's bad. Could work, depends how good you are at Bebop. It's a bit of a Bebop is a big pilot hero, right? He seems easy to play, but if you're not good at him, you're not going to get value.
These guys have definitely watched some other tournaments. I remember Abraham's playing this earlier this week with like a triple pick comp or something, and about to get sticky. Gonna try to imitate that a little bit, going for that Paradox and Bebop combo. I mean, Bebop and Paradox basically filling out the same role here, so it's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna use that going forward.
I don't think the Bebop likes to play into Warden Kelvin very much personally, but we'll see.
Mirage is a good pick here for lane janitors as well. It fixes one of their problems. They need another like kind of more dedicated side laner, and they also like getting that split push potential. And overall, like the Tornado is quite strong against a lot of these heroes. They will need to buy Slowing Hex on the side of it's about to get sticky. Now, I do think Slowing Hex is a little bit slept on. Like not a lot of people buy this item, but it's actually pretty good in the right situations. We'll see though what lane janitors choose to go as well. I honestly think that like most of their stuff is pretty standard so far. Maybe they need like a Haze or a Holiday. I don't really love the Haze against the heroes that it's about to get sticky have, so Holiday could be a decent option. Mo and Krill is a potential alternative that I don't know if I love, but it could be an option. I would probably prefer the Holiday here though.
Yeah, they're missing a hard CC option. Like their only thing is landing a cage and keeping somebody in dome, but Lash is a fairly good answer. You can combo that with the Tornado as well to really keep somebody locked down. So I think that's a fairly good pick. And they control the counterplay with the dome and the Death Slam. But Bebop's gonna have his attempt to stop that, and Sticky rounds out their draft very quickly with Wraith and Greytail. Jeez, that's a little bit of a squishy comp, no?
It certainly is. It's a little squishy, but it has potential. Like, okay, here's a couple advantages you have with this comp. One, Grey Talon here is good against most of the heroes except Lash. None of the other heroes can really interact with Grey Talon very much, right? If you're lane janitors, I really do think Holiday is really good here because it gives you a knockdown buyer. She can buy knockdown, and on top of that, gives you another hero that can interact with Grey Talon. So I do love that. I actually think Haze got a lot of value though with the last two picks as well. I would probably prefer Haze for lane janitors here. I think it's really good. I think it's a super hard counter to like the Wraith Grey Talon types if you can sneak up on them, if you're capable of playing the more pick Haze style. Now, a lot of people, especially MM players, especially lower rank players, are not capable of playing that style, so they go with the IV. I'm guessing this is purely comfort based, right? Just like, hey, it's last pick, let's just pick whatever we need and we're comfortable with. But I think both comps have something going for them. I would slightly favor lane janitors in ease of execution, but it's about to get sticky, could snowball.
Not gonna lie, I was actually thinking about the Ivy as well here for lane janitors. I mean, there's a lot of characters on It's About to Get Sticky that you can really, they have a hard time dealing with this Ivy in general. I mean, it's a great counter to the Wraith in general, being able to stone form that ultimate, and also just being able to slow out all of it, Bebop and Abrams, Yamato, a lot of these like walking characters. So going for this Ivy, probably a spirit build after these latest changes, nerfing the gun pretty hard, I would say. I think it could work here.
Yep, I do like it to an extent. I think you've also got the global potential, right? With Mirage IV, you have a decent amount of split push pressure, like lane management, etc. So that's good. I'm not sure how well the Lash will do. We'll see. There is a decent amount of like weight on the Slash to be the Grey Talon counter, because other than that, none of these other heroes do really anything to Grey Talon. I would love to see probably like a knockdown or something bought on Kelvin. Maybe something of that like, but even then, I think a lot of weight is going to be on the Slash to counter the Grey Talon. If Grey Talon gets a really good game, could be really problematic for lane janitors, but otherwise, I would personally predict lane janitors are going to win based off the draft.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to say that they have the better position just standing out from this moment. But like you said, like this Wraith, the Grey Talon, Paradox, and Bebop, like they could get rolling downhill fairly quickly. And if the lane janitors don't like press in this mid game with this Warden, Shiv, and Kelvin, like you could see Sticky like drawing this out forever and ever, and finally getting to the point where these characters like can't be fought straight 1v1, and then Lash really can't get in against a Bebop Paradox or whatever have you, and you know it's going to be a lot on split pushing from Mirage and Ivy to kind of like keep the Wraith and away from like just stealing walkers, and if the Wraith is getting ahead, then she's going to favor those 1v1s on the sideline. So it's interesting, but I agree with you, lane janitors have the easier path here, but Sticky definitely has some interesting options, and it's going to be really interesting to watch how this Bebop pans out, because I think it's going to dictate a lot about this mid game.
It's definitely two different visions of how they want to play the game here. Lane janitors, you know, very teamfight based, going for that Kelvin Shiv, going for that Warden as well, the Lash ult, being able to control the battlefield, being able to control the fights is definitely their goal here. Meanwhile, it's about to get sticky. They really want to just hate crime as many targets as they can find. I mean, if they're allowed to, you know, to get these picks to start off these fights, suddenly it becomes a lot harder for lane janitors to set up these good team fights that they want. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna play it out. I would personally rather play the sticky comp compared to you guys. I think it's definitely an interesting comp, and I think it has a lot of potential. I think Wraith right now could actually be a really good solve to a lot of the problems that we're gonna face in general, and it's gonna, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this pans out.
There's definitely potential. I'm just a little bit worried for them, but it could work out. Now, before we get into the game, for those of you that, you know, didn't catch the beginning, make sure to type ! giveaway in the chat for the Corsair giveaway so you can enter before it's too late, right? Because after this game, we'll be announcing the winner. So we have 3 things to give away. So just ! giveaway, and you can see the instructions on how to do that, etc. Very excited for this game. I don't know if we have a specific ETA. Let me just make sure. I think we'll be getting into it very shortly.
Ready to go.
Yeah. All the players are lined up, so we'll be ready to go very shortly. So yeah, ! giveaway, just so you have the one last chance. And once again, thank you so much for Metal for, you know, helping us out and whatever. We're gonna get into the game very shortly. So Tempo, you said you prefer, it's about to get sticky, correct? You prefer to play that Mox, you're more in the lane janitors. As you know, I prefer lane janitors as well, so it looks like we're 2 for 1. What game length are we predicting before we get into it? That's the most important thing.
Shorter than last one.
Okay, well that's not that's pretty guaranteed, I would say.
I'm almost the opposite. I'm almost gonna say that they're gonna stall out and not actually execute in the mid game, and we're gonna wind up either the same or longer for some stupid reason. Like last game, we watched a Warden really like take over and kind of open up all the space, and I just feel like I'm giving Sticky the opportunity to say that they'll be able to stall out the Warden, and it won't be such a kind of run over. So I'm predicting kind of a long one for just no good reason, to be honest with you.
Warden has a very clear goal in mind here. Beat the other Warden's soul count.
All right, guys, crazy. So we're going into the final game. You know, we've got the 2 undefeated teams in Division 1. I'll let you guys take it away.
Yeah, thank you.
So much
as we see some interesting chatter going on, we already see some of the first messages of our Grey Talon player on our Sapphire side saying those target bans were crazy. So kind of on the money, perhaps a little bit of single player focus there. See if he can outperform those other picks though with this Grey Talon, which has a lot of potential that we have seen throughout the day.
Yeah, and I mean, target banning, a pretty big strategy that you're gonna see often in this, you know, in these new teams. Just looking at the hero pools, where they're not as used to like the competitive meta, they will always like prefer their own comfort. So it makes a lot of sense doing that.
Got some pretty fun lane assignments here. In the mid lane, we're keeping an eye on a Talon and a Yamato hanging out against a Warden and Ivy. Warden Ivy pretty decent. Ivy's a little bit slow in lane and her ramp up time, so this lane favors this Yamato Grey Talon heavily. It's gonna be on them to kind of put the pressure down and kind of create the space for their team. While we got to pause, we got some good times to kind of take a look around the map. We have a Lash and Mirage against a Paradox and Abrams, which is a pretty fun lane, but I think Mirage and Lasher are going to be pretty happy here, and Mirage is not going to be too upset dealing with the shoulder charge since he's going to have Tornado online fairly early. Also, the health shred doesn't hurt too much, and on our right side, we're dealing with that Kelvin Shiv lane. My goodness, pause log, aka one of the team names. -2 in chat from Padme, our Yamato player. But just to round out the lanes, we've got the Kelvin Shiv against a Bebop Wraith, which is fairly interesting, but they're probably going to be punished pretty heavily.
Yeah, I mean, Wraith notably being a bit stronger now in lane, getting that extra bullet damage, I would actually consider her pretty okay now, personally, having played a little bit of Wraith this patch. And I will say, though, into a Kelvin Shiv, I don't think those 0.25 extra bullet damage is going to help much, as you're just going to get beat down, likely. But maybe it can help them survive maybe one more minute.
I'll have to take your word for it. I have not seen that many Wraiths pop around since the patch, but I have also not played that many games, so we'll take your expertise on the note. Guy will have to show us otherwise, and having some nice friendly conversations in chat as we wait for some ping to kind of settle down. We definitely talked about who we prefer in these drafts, but we're going to keep a close eye on kind of timers for buffs and mid-boss and all the rest, and see who's like really organized in their gameplay. We've seen some different things each round so far, and I think we've seen some concerted efforts to attack particular parts of the map, whether it be an urn focus or a jungle invasion focus we've seen earlier in the day. And so it's going to be fun to kind of see which way these teams kind of want to play.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely loads of ways you can take a game like this. I mean, it's an interesting question, actually. Who would win if this game stalls out? Because both teams have pretty decent scaling. You and Deathy were both favoring lane janitors a lot. Is that maybe because of the scaling, or is it more because of that early game power?
I think it's more because the ease of execution in the mid game is very apparent for the lane janitors, where my goodness, I'm so bad with names. Our Sapphire team, excuse me, it's about to get sticky. It's a little bit more skill expressive. You really have to be able to dodge ganks, and you have to dodge a Majestic Leap Warden flying at you. It's just, it's slightly harder to execute. Sticky has way better late game skill. Like, if we get to 40 minutes, watch out for that team, because you're not going to be able to handle the damage. But up until that point, lane janitors, it's going to be on them to kind of show why we think that they had the better draft. We'll see if they can execute that.
We will see indeed, as both teams gearing up to take their first round of boxes here, spawning at 2 minutes. Bado already trying to get those extra souls.
So we see a pretty solid awareness already about timings and a mindfulness about so many things, and it's nice to see. That's definitely different from the 2 games that we saw earlier. So keeping an eye on the clock and some important things like that is going to create small advantages we do see. However small the advantage is, there is 1,000 soul lead for the sticky side, so maybe those few boxes doing a little bit there. As we, kind of tussle with some ISP issues here, we're going to stay tuned and try to keep things active around the map. There's a lot going on today.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on today right now. Maybe not as much in the game right now, as the appears that one of the players is lagging out a little bit, going by the in-game comms. But hey, in the meantime, we get to talk a little bit more about how we think this game is gonna pan out. Full yap session. I mean,
I wonder if there's anything interesting from the patch that we can talk about that might influence the outcome of this game. We saw earlier that the Warren forego the cultist sacrifice purchase to kind of ramp up to the lightning scroll a lot earlier. I wonder if we'll see something similar, or if we will go back to the kind of default cultist buying session. But it's not going to see as many, certainly, in the game since the patch.
Yeah, but I think it depends a lot more on what you actually want out of the game. I think Warden is still a completely fine user of Cultist. Maybe not as much for the buff as much as for the economy aspect of that item, as that part did not get nerfed at all, and that's kind of one of the reasons why you buy the item a lot on certain characters. Such as the Wraith here is probably gonna buy a Cultist Sacrifice, having already queued up that monster rounds.
Yeah, while it is an expensive early investment, it does help you ramp up faster, and if it's Sticky's only solution is to ramp as quickly as possible, I would not be shocked to see that. That being said, they're doing a pretty good job of avoiding this Shiv Kelvin pressure. Really, but Mirage is really kind of taking a beating here from the Abrams and Paradox. Chrissy and Yako doing a pretty nice job over here so far. Lash is not the best defender of teammates. He's really wants to trade and scuffle, but Mirage is gonna be alright. I'm sure he'll get some regen fairly soon.
No Mystic regen being bought so far, and we'll see if he's gonna stick towards this very aggressive build ordering that he has. I mean, a lot of low members already. Yamato here, double health items and still only 200 HP. It's definitely a tough lane he's going into though, with the Warden and the Ivy. And Warden's gonna get that kill immediately. First blood gonna go to lane janitors. My configs on that Warden with that QSR already built. I mean, really strong early buy, even if nerfed.
He's hungry for a dive with the willpower proc, trying to get on top of this. Oh my goodness, my Flask looks so balanced. Huh? Minus 160 every time, 8 seconds. Minus 160, minus 160, minus 160. Goodness gracious. It is surprising that he is winning this mid lane. Man, maybe another kill. He actually does get the finish. What is happening? He's literally just flasking people to death. See a dive on the other side too. Abrams getting under tower against Lash, just trying to find time to be slightly safe. Abrams looking for a way out at this point. Nice parry movement to get out of there. Getting a little bit more damage. Should be okay at the end of it all.
Refreshing start to the game after the game we just watched here on the A-stream. A lot more active early game so far. Tower already gonna get taken by my configs before 5 minutes even happen. On buffs now coming online. Let's see what the teams are gonna do. Lane General's at least gonna go for that right buff, and Abrams gonna take the left buff.
Bebop doing
wow.
a nice job against this Kelvin Shiv lane to like actually push them back and create some pressure. I talked about how the Yamato and Greytown really should be winning that lane, but really nice job by my configs and on Toast there on the Ivy to kind of control the situation and get a 5-minute Guardian. That's super huge.
And 7Nix
too deep.
7Nix already having bought the rescue beam, by the way, on the Kelvin as a response to facing that Bebop in lane. It's a great way to actually play around the Bebop, as that hook is really most of your laning phase.
Yeah, but apparently not good enough because he just got. Nice job by Guy in 360 here.
Oh,
And the first kind of kill in this lane. Veilwalker by? Hello?
he
Wait,
did
what?
not reach the patch notes.
Okay. I mean, listen. Bebop loves Veilwalker. It's not going to be a bad item late. This early is just crazy as we see Mirage getting dived. Wait, nice movement. Good wall bounce. Is he getting out 20 HP? Ooh, my goodness.
He's got
Chrissy
the
could not
movement.
Get the finisher. Really good wall bounce there from X-Bio to dodge a shoulder charge. Keep himself alive just a little bit in this lane, but it is going bad. Lash in trouble. The Siphon Life. Abrams, is he going to get a finisher? Oh, it's so close. He might not be able to finish, and he actually goes down. Citrus with the kill there in the end of it all. And we see a huge rotation. Ivy and Warren are dive bombing. Paradox here. Yako, Jesus. Somebody help. Holy moly, so the pressure from the mid lane rotates left. Probably going to be another Guardian take. In response, Yamato, Greytown are probably going to get this Guardian down for the rotation. A really nice movement from lane janitors so far.
Such an active early game so far. I mean, Chrissy on that Abrams being a prime specimen when it comes to aggressiveness on that Abrams. Perhaps even more than the last Abrams we took a look at. And hey, I mean, if it's working, it's working. But currently, it is actually working. They are in a little bit of a lead here, having already, taken a couple of towers here. I think 2 towers for both sides already down. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens next. And hold up, is that a Mystic Burst I'm seeing from the Bebop? Is this a bomb Bebop?
I was just gonna say it might pan out to be a bomb Bebop, but I run it frequently myself, where it's not a bomb bebop, it's more just like a utility. So he's going to be running around the map with Mystic Burst and Veilwalker and just providing damage and providing openings for his teammates. Like, he might transition into the full Echo Shard Silence Wave meme, but until then, it's like, it's really low econ for a lot of damage. So I don't really hate the pick, especially since, you know, I tend to do it myself sometimes. It's just very outside of what we might expect to see.
Pretty slow lanes currently, and as I say that, I mean, this Ivy is gonna dive down, and was that a testable as I saw from the Ivy? This might actually end up being a gun Ivy after all.
Yeah, I can't imagine that build is like completely out of favor at this point. It's probably still good. I guess we'll see how it winds up in this game, but that, I think it's the Lightbringer build, right? It's the Tesla bullets, capacitor, bullet resist throw, that kind of jam. Nice hook onto the Shiv here, but Bebop might be a little bit too far. Wraith trying to create some space with the telekinesis, teleports out. Bebop kind of running for the hills here. Got some nice moves to hit the vent, get out, and everybody's going to take a little bit of damage, but nobody's worse for wear. Tower here. Or just add a little bit of damage, and we've got another disconnect from our Shiv, which we will sort out, but they've allocated 3 players here, the Kelvin, the Warden, and the Shiv, all to try to get this last Guardian. Lane Janitors have lost all 3 of theirs, so this is the last one on the map. I don't think anybody's rotating here in time, so unless something goes catastrophic, they should be able to finish this, although my configs on the Warden is fairly low.
I mean, there's some definitely strong contenders right now for both sides. I mean, this gun Ivy is really going to be hit or miss after this early game. I mean, the problem with the gun Ivy was, I'm pretty sure that it was her scaling that got nerfed a lot. And if this Ivy doesn't keep this snowball up, I fear that she might fall off a cliff a little bit when it comes a little later parts of the game. You can't do the same type of greedy build anymore, at least on Ivy, as a lot of the good items from that build have gotten slightly worse. But like Cults of Sacrifice is an example, being a big part of it. So we'll see what ends up happening.
Back in the action, they do finish that Warden. Bebop and Wraith doing a good job here. It was actually a 3v3, I had not realized, so pretty much in favor for Sticky here, considering that the Warden was low. Shiv is surviving through it all, though, winds up getting a kill, and they actually finish. Grey Talon is the only one escaping there. Yamato's now arriving just to clean things up. Shiv getting a nice kill. We'll go down for it after everything, but I mean, it could have been a lot worse, man. Those are some large bags on the floor. 600 souls just left there to be taken. Warren has made it back, but he's in a 2v1. I don't think there's enough to take this Guardian.
I'm going in.
Another NA native being allergic to the vegetables. No creed items bought so far on GT, which perhaps is a pretty understandable character to not buy that many greens on early game, but we'll see if it ends up profiting later on.
Yeah, GT I don't think really ever cares. That assuming all things are even and normal, GT's pretty happy to just never buy greens and just rely on pure positioning, because it is difficult to get on top of that character. We do hear the seismic impact, so there's gonna be a fight for this Guardian. They dive to get it. Now Shiv catches the shoulder charge, though. Easy cleanup for Chrissy on this Abrams. Warden, though, in trouble, is getting the rescue beam out, gets caught on the wall. One more arrow will help secure that kill, and now Kelvin in a world of trouble. 3-kill streak, and you know, we talked about the timings and how important it would be for lane janitors to kind of control this mid game, and all of a sudden this 3-kill streak on Grey Talon is making things look really problematic for them.
Hybrid Mirage build gonna be bought here on Xpire. I believe this is also the Lightbringer build, talking about him earlier on with the Ivy, and we'll see if it ends up working out. I will say though, this Bebop build's very interesting. Insta rush on debuff remover as an example. Perhaps maybe a bit of a response into the Shiv with the knives.
Yeah, I told you, it's essentially just an econ Bebop. Like, he's buying items to provide some utility for his team. He's not necessarily thinking, I'm the damage dealer, which you know, it might backfire as the game goes on. You might be looking for the Bebop to do more damage, but up until the 15-minute mark, you're a total menace. So I don't hate the defensive buy there. I think you could have been a little bit more aggressive, but at the same time, we look at this urn situation, and they've completely peeled off of it. Lane Janner's made a really good contest by having Ivy airdrop the Lash into the situation. Now all of a sudden, oh no, the hook missed. That should be an easy layup. Shiv goes down quickly. Lash almost gone. My goodness, so low there. Will be escaping just narrowly. Where you're looking for a little bit more of that damage out of the Bebop. He's got really nothing here. He's just going to hit the Veil Walker and get out of the situation. But the urn kind of cruises back on, and things kind of even out here. Wraith is putting pressure on the opposite side of the map, and everything else just sort of stalemated.
Stalemating indeed. How does it get sticky? Just really gotta use this Bebop and this Paradox to keep this lead that they have, even if small. They need to keep it going. Warden now gonna get hooked immediately, and Paradox is already here. Last stand gonna be forced out of him. Shiv as well, ready to give this Bebop a world of trouble. And we'll see if it ends up happening. Seems like he's gonna be able to get out pretty scot-free though.
Pretty smart movement to get around and use the Veil Walker there to buy some space. It's got only green items, so you assume he gets to stay healthy there. I would really like that he would just buy like Spirit Snatch or something. Like if he's gonna run around and play the game like this, like buy the little melee item for 800 and help your damage out a little bit, because you saw he walked up and got a hook onto the Warden, but like what did the Warden care that he got hooked in that situation? He just pops last stand and he's way more of a threat. Like you're almost helping the enemy team there. But anyways, let's not harp too much on this Bebop. Both teams kind of handling this 13-minute space fairly well. Even in Souls, there is an urn still to be had, but it doesn't look like that'll get turned in before the second one spawns. They're doing a good job of prioritizing their jungle farm to make space, but Warden does get hooked in. A little scarier this time, but that rescue beam that we talked about super early is coming in clutch. Ivy trying to walk in, do a little bit of cleanup action. Hook goes wide. Too bad. But yeah, nothing comes of all of this action. We're essentially just watching hooks connect, and you know, that's fun for a little bit, but they're really even spread of players across the board.
If something's stationary, it won't last long.
I mean, it's nothing like watching two sides just repeatedly try the same thing over and over until it sticks, you know? Paradox now gotta hit the swap, and it finally sticks this time. Slowing Hex as well, getting bought onto this Mirage. He doesn't have any Tornado, but Ivy gonna fly him out there to safety land.
Yeah, that was a good attempt on the right target. I just talked about hooking the Warden. Like the Warden doesn't particularly care unless it's a really bad position. But when you swap Mirage, you're creating a lot of pressure on the map because Mirage just wants to sit and farm. Now with no HP, he has to kind of hard reset in base. That creates some space on the map, but also what you do with it. They gave up a lot of space, and now Kelvin has had a free chance to grab this urn. So 7 Nyx is going to look to move this across, but he does get hooked by Bebop. I just saw that on the minimap. That was fun. That's an urn delivery. We'll see if he gets out of this, though. He's taking quite a lot of damage for the effort. This one might just get walked back to base as buffs were just out. I think Lane Jenner's probably had the better of both those buffs that spawn. Paradox in a little bit of trouble here in a 2v1. Drops the wall. Is going to try to turn some damage. Kelvin doesn't really do much. That is a fairly early knockdown, but I do like that control item in this game. It's pretty solid into most of the lane janitor's comp, but who's going to raw swap onto the Ivy just to try to create some space and get out. Low HP though, won't escape. On toast, finds a kill. Just mans up against the Paradox with some teammates in his back pocket.
That's what I was talking about. For this Ivy to really work out for them, they have to keep this snowball going. And Onto is doing a great job of it. I mean, getting that pick onto the Paradox should prove crucial here as they get a lot of map space on this left side. Perhaps gonna look for a bit of jungle invasion, but no, actually gonna decide to take the urn instead. But Kelvin gonna find himself in no man's land in a little bit here. Bebop and Wraith hunting him down. They can't find him though. They're looking for the urn. They see it, but they can't see him. He was underneath on the secret shop, and he's gonna get out.
Yeah, it was a really clever redirection there because he probably should have. They probably should have been more aggressive to try to grab him there. as there was a 3v3 developing on the right side of the map. Both teams kind of poking around, but nobody engaging. There was an opportunity that Kelvin was completely alone there. Nothing will come of that. We see 5 players gathered around this urn though. This will likely be a turn-in attempt with the Death Slam. Nice hook though on the Mirage. Doesn't care a ton. He will tornado his way out. Not enough follow-up. Again, like, all he's got is Tank Buster. And at this point in the game, it's not doing that much damage, although it is significant. He will try to scoot out. Shiv just mans up and fights him though. He's not too happy about that situation. He's still getting run after. There are 3. Knockdown is coming out. What's the follow-up? Is there a knife? Missing a little bit of damage as the turnaround comes through. Last Stand is following onto this Talon. Nice job catching the high ground there. Saves his life, if ever, for just a moment. Lane Janitor's hunting on this mid lane. I'm not sure that they want to pony up to this Walker, though. Abrams is the only one defending it right now.
I mean, everyone knows that that raccoons are definitely slippery creatures, and I mean, the actual Trash Panda is showing you why. I believe a bit of a colloquial nickname for that, but I mean, he's certainly doing a good job with this movement there, and he's gonna get out unscathed, basically. Meanwhile, in the Kelvin dome here, Yamato gonna be in a lot of pressure here. Kelvin using everything he can, but 3 people on this Yamato, and knock up into Cage. I mean, he's not getting out of there.
Yeah, that knockup was at the very last second. He had the stamp to actually escape that cage, but the timing on the ground slam from the Lash was very clutch in securing that Yamato kill. There was an angle for escape there, so nice job for Lane Janitors to grab something. They have found a way to stabilize the income. Ooh, Bebop, no hook there to protect against the Lash, but there's nobody in sight, so that is a whiffed Death Slam, and there's going to be an attempted re-engage. What does he toss the hook? Nicely done. Lash has a bit of health with the Spirit Shielding, but is inside of a Bebop and Great Talon, but just kind of juking around and moving, doing a pretty nice job. Great Talon is on his tail. I think he's missed a few arrows, and now he's completely out of them. Let's see if there's any follow-up. The hook misses, but they will get the kill on the last of the auto attacks, because there was no more charge shots left, so very close there.
Good play so far coming out from both sides. As Yako is going in for more. I mean, that swap has been really good so far in this game, and he's gonna take down Homeboy Woods on that Shiv. I mean, talk about a strong character right now. That looked absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah, I really like that Paradox itemization. It's slowing Hex and Knockdown as we watch Yamato chasing Mirage. Will just Traveler to get out of the situation after being chased through a teleporter. So a little double teleportation never hurt anybody. But yeah, some really good itemization from our Paradox player. We're seeing Wraith kind of get to her nearly online point. Surge of Power, Merc Mag, and Tesla Bullets. Do we see Merc Mag picked up this early, or is there some other options that should have been picked up sooner? Oh my goodness, wait, the damage onto the Kelvin. Has to dome to protect himself. Also buys himself time against this Walker. Is there any backup coming? Yes, Ivy is on the way. Will they cut off the Wraith escape before she gets out? Like, she might be okay, but Ivy is on the trail. Thinks better of it on Toast, opting for the safer option. There is a gun buff on the table, which is huge. 20k on this Ivy. Farm is rolling in, so that is a nice addition. On top of it, there's an urn available and almost like 5-6 sinners across the map. I think we'll see farming for another couple minutes here.
Now this is a fast Ivy right here. Fleet foot and enduring speed picked up on the Ivy. This is an Ivy that just wants to keep active, keep on the map, and just go for any kills that she can find. He's already deep onto this Wraith. They're having a big fight here. Bebop as well gonna come in, but looks like the rest of the team are also gonna come in. I mean, this is some interesting things happening on the map here. Yamato as well on the screen, getting pressured a lot here by the Warden and the Mirage. I think it's gonna be interesting to see what happens here as well.
Yeah, they just barely saved the Ivy there. I believe that was the Kelvin rescue beam, but about to get sticky, runs the urn over, and now they should have freebie. Yep, they actually get it before the knockdown. I think it was even on the Walker there, but Great Talon pressured on the opposite side. Nice movement from the Warden. Last Stand, huge bag on the floor, gets picked up by Yamato at the very least. Padme good heads up there to pick up that money off the floor, but now This Walker is facing the wrath of Warden and Mirage at the same time. Mirage taking a lot of damage from the Walker, though. Is very low. There's an opportunity, but with no Shadow Transformation, it's a little bit scary. 30 HP, drops a huge bag. Flash picks that one up. Citrus very happy to come in, grab a kill, and a Death Slam onto 2 on the back of it. Paradox in a little bit of trouble now. Is there any way to turn this one? Flash trying to make something of it, but is out of cooldowns. Nice shoulder charge, catches 2, but the dome turnaround. Abrams in so much trouble now. He is trading inside of his dome. There is no backup. Wait, is he just tanking up the ground slam knock up? And it is a 3 kill streak for my config's Warden, and surely this Walker should go down now, as lane janitors made the right rotations, and after stalling out a little bit earlier or finding some comeback money in this game, we're making something of this mid as they have every wave pushed in. Ivy is winning her 1v1 on the other side as well.
Huge fight coming out from lane genders there, and they're gonna have a little bit of a lead for themselves. So Ivy here showing that even if nerfed, this character is still pretty good. I mean, perhaps I was talking a little bit too badly on it earlier. I mean, this is a new patch, and he's showing that Gun Ivy is still definitely here to stay. 600 HP, gonna try to fly out of there, and it looks like he's gonna be successful in doing so.
Hello, Valve. Does that look balanced? Can we get a quick little balance check on that one? That did not look okay. I think Wraith lost all of her health in 5 bullets, and then Ivy flew away, untouched. Okay. So let's have a talk.
All right, Valve. And now that propaganda's out of there, we can go back to saying this character's very weak. Trust, guys. You should buff Gun Ivy, definitely, right? Wink, wink.
Raj, nice job escaping there. He was kind of stuck in a bad spot. 3 of it's about to get Sticky collapsing, but now it's Kelvin, the sacrificial lamb, seems to be maybe wrong place trying to help. Maybe it was Bebop hitting some nice hooks, not sure. Lucky shot online for the Ivy, though. It's getting scary quickly. You talked about the importance of her staying up on tempo, and she's getting all the farm that she needs, but this mid game is breaking out in fights everywhere. That was a counter spell, by the way, in the middle of that little knockup. Really nice job by Padme. It looked like, maybe I'm crazy, that's what it looked like to me, but that was a nice job. Shadow Transfer comes out, they're trying to continue this fight. Mirage is on top of Great Talon. Padme will go down after the turnaround, a little bit too deep. There is scuffles everywhere. Lanes are pushing in for Sticky. 2 Walkers being pushed at the same time. Wraith is finally getting a nice favor since Ivy isn't in this side lane. And in the mid, Abrams and Bebop. It looks like Abrams might be in quite a bit of trouble now. Silence Wave comes out trying to find some finishers, but do they have enough damage? Oh, they swap onto the Shiv. I'm not sure that that's what you wanted. The execution does get missed, though. 3 kill streak as Yako goes down to Citrus, so a nice job lane janitors finding wins everywhere. Abrams trying to escape. Chrissy in a lot of trouble. Is there anything left? No. 4 kill streak. Citrus cleans that one up as well. This is a really good mid angle, and it looks like they know it as well.
Now it's very clear to me, at least, watching this game compared to the other divisions, that the level has definitely gone up. I mean, these are some very good decisions they're making, and they're making them in a heartbeat. I mean, these are some very good players.
Yeah, and most importantly, they're staying up on their farm. You can see across the board. You see Bebop wanting a contest, does not get one. I think that's a valiant effort, but nothing coming from it. But back to the farm topic, it's interesting the allocation. Like, maybe Citrus has just been the beneficiary of being in the right place, right time. Lash is always kind of second, third into the fight. You see my configs, Toast, and Citrus all near 30k, which is just insane. And X-Bio has kind of been left in the dust on the Mirage, so it's interesting Cryo, but on the other side for Sticky, they need to scale, and the only one that's got money is Wraith at 25k. We see them come in and just clear out this Walker. Ivy does not care. Seeing the power of this character's gun build still kind of reigns supreme. Lane Janner's taken the power of their comp in this mid-game and really doing what we said they needed to do, which is kind of take over and crush the map.
Rush the map indeed. Looks like a big fight's gonna break out here in the mid lane. Shiv gonna take a lot of damage here on this Walker. Maybe gonna use one of the regen credits. 3 down. Now 2 to go for lane janitor. Shiv gonna be taking down immediately, and he's not having the best game right now.
Yeah, a bit of a disjointed fight. Does wind up with Chrissy getting taken down on this Abrams instead, but they are still trying to just siege this mid lane with 2 outside lanes pushing in. So, I mean, It's set up the right way. Death Slam catches onto the, is that the Wraith? No, it was the Kelvin. Domes immediately. Shiv now is just dancing around and bleeding out to his own bloodletting, so really weird situation. They will get the Walker soon. 1 HP. Alright, it does finally go down. They do get the curse onto Ivy through the trap, but I don't think it's enough. You do not want to fight that character right now. There's no more walkers left on the map for it's about to get sticky. It's just the base to defend now.
All things considered, that could have gone a lot worse for it's about to get sticky. I mean, they got a full kill, they got 2 rejuves out of that walker. I mean, even if you're losing a couple of players, I feel like that's an okay trade.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst. It was a pretty decent contest considering how sloppy the lane janitors went about that situation, but you know, you can give them a little bit of a break. They had rejuve and they didn't have any outer walkers to contest, so why not just stick around and shove it in? So I mean, it worked for now. We're backing up into a little bit more of a stalemate at this point. There's a lot of sinners on the map, a little bit of farm to eat, and lane janitors have what is essentially like a 30k soul lead to work with, and this Ivy is fairly unstoppable, and we haven't even really touched on the fact that Warden has been farming just as efficiently, and there's nobody really keeping up on the side of it's about to get sticky, except for the Wraith, and I think you're going to need quite a bit more than just that.
Icon fix here on that Warden. I mean, Dome already out here for the Kelvin. That's a pretty big piece of utility for lane janitors. Chrissy gonna use his seismic impact, try to look for things, but he's gonna have to melee charge out of there. I mean, he's getting a lot of pressure, but Ivy's gonna do so much damage though.
What happened to that hook? Something, I saw it connect. I'm not sure what it got caught on. Something was stuck there. Really unfortunate situation. Looked like a decent hook for 360's Bebop there, but just unfortunate. Oh my goodness. Gaia again soloed by the Citrus Lash 5 kill streak. I talked about the money allocation. This Lash is insanely farmed. 37k. It's keeping up with the gun Ivy, by the way. Just straight 1v1 the Wraith there.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing the Lash in a bit of a carry role, it would seem. But if he's gonna get picks like that, I mean, hey, all power to him.
Pretty nice itemization too. The headhunter priority and the cooldowns early is pretty interesting. He's survived without needing an extra charge of any kind, so he's managing his jumps really well. Transcending cooldown now online, he's only going to get more problematic. It's about to get sticky. The window is really closing quickly on this game. We're approaching that 40k soul difference as they're trying to engage Majestic Leap. Last stand into the base, but Warden's looking for his target, can't really find it, does actually get the Yamato in the end. I think she counterspelled the lightning stroke, but it did not matter. Now Chrissy in trouble, Abrams goes down, 5-man kill streak accordingly. Bebop Laser just to buy a little bit of time, but he's only got 3 friends to defend his base in, and that Sapphire Patron is melted. 40 seconds. That's gonna be game, no? I think they stay. They're really big. If I was them, 50k up right now, I would push it. What do they have to stop them? Like Bebop, Hook, and Telekinesis?
I mean, it might be about time to get sticky, but I mean, we have 6 janitors here ready to clean up the mess, and they're gonna look to clean up that patron, taking down a couple of members, but actually it's about to get sticky, gonna get pretty good trades out of this. X-Bio and 7X already down, but trading 2 kills for the patron, and lane janitors are gonna take the game, going 3-0 in Division 1.
Really impressive. It took some time to get there. Like, it's gonna get sticky had a really impressive early game and they had all of the right advantages, but we saw it sort of turn on this like mid-game power that we talked about for this lineup of lane janitors, and it just ran over and then never stopped. Like, really impressive performance out of the Citrus Lash and the On Toast Ivy, like just creating infinite space. Like, we barely even had to talk about the fact that Warden was just solo killing people with Last Stand. 8 kills to top the team, 8, 3, and 6. No deaths on the Ivy. I feel like that happens a lot, but every time it does happen, we have to stop and talk about it. Most objective damage, nearly the most damage in the game Greytown, the only one above the rest of the lane janitors, but that was a really impressive performance. And once the lane janitors got online, we saw a really smart approach to the game.
Hey
Welcome
guys,
back to
I'm back. Sorry, I had to unmute myself on Discord. I was like, wait, I was about to talk and then I muted, but I'm here. Yeah, that was the final game of the day for those that are watching. So we're going to have a quick little conclusion. We're going to go over the winners of the giveaway. I'm telling Griffin, if you're watching right now, make sure to run it. I just sent him a DM, but you know, we're going to be running the giveaway. So we're going to be announcing the winners very shortly, but that was the last game and it was a pretty fun one. It was actually really close. And you know, we've also got a couple clips brought to you by Metal that we'll take a look at in just a second. But you know, I think that was a pretty satisfying conclusion to the end of the day. We saw like a really back and forth until one moment. It was just kind of over after the first mid boss just kind of collapsed for the side of it's about to get sticky. But until then, it was really back and forth.
Yeah, I talked about how It's Sticky had a really decent start to the game, and if they wanted all these scaling characters to get there faster, like they had that window. And it was really fun to sort of like see the back and forth, and it's almost like a light switch went on for the lane janitors, and then all of a sudden the mid game just blew open it at a pace that was just unable to be kept up with, and it was really that's draft execution. Like they had to do it that way in order to outpace the amount of scaling that It's Sticky had.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, sorry. Go ahead, then.
Nah, you're good. You're good. I mean, I was just gonna say that I mean, there were definitely some interesting things happening in that game. I mean, I personally, at least, playing some competitive games that basically completely written off this gun IV, but on Socia really showing that wow, that character is still impressively good. Having so much objective damage on such a, you know, good movement character, good sustain character. I mean, this character almost still has everything, even if you nerf the damage numbers a little bit. So impressive stuff so far.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of how it plays out. But you know, we've got a lot of very interesting stuff. We'll be looking. I think we have the results for most games. I'm just trying to take a look right now because I think that B stream was also mostly over. So maybe we can take a look at that in a second, but before we get into that, I suggest, you know, we look at a couple clips that we had from this game that I had, you know, Kashi take. So Kashi, if you want to run the clips and we can talk a little bit. I highlighted a couple of the key moments. So the first moment was kind of this one, and if you look on the minimap, you see Abrams running the urn. Now this was actually the first urn of the game, 20 minutes in. There was not an urn that was given before then, and it's about to get sticky. Kind of got it, and you would think that they would get enough momentum from that, but then the pressure from lane janitors on the rest of the map pretty much ended up making this play essentially just like an even soul swing. And we saw a lot of those kind of like soul swings through the game where one team was getting something, but the other team was striking back with something that was worth just as much. And that really is something that you only really see in D1. I think in the other divisions, you kind of see one team just get away with something and get a lead. But in D1, we saw teams trading back and forth a lot more. And that really shows something that happens much more at a higher level. We also have a second clip for the second moment that you guys want to guess what it is. What was the second pivotal moment of the game? You gotta analyze your brains a little bit.
Something very big and important happened, and a character died, and a team took advantage of that.
What he said.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. In the second clip, it's right here in the middle lane. It's about to get sticky. They lose a couple players, and then we basically go right into mid boss for lane janitors. If you look at the souls at that point in the game, right, lane janitors have a lead, but the lead was mostly obtained from this fight. So just a little bit of an overextension here on the side of it's about to get sticky, who kind of didn't even really have anyone. It's kind of unclear why they were that deep mid. They had like 2 or 3 people super deep mid. They got caught out of position, and one of those mistakes just results right away into mid boss. And also at this point in the game, I was a little worried for lane janitors because the Shiv and Kelvin, who I consider to be kind of like, you know, the pivotal piece of the draft, weren't really having a game. But it didn't matter because Ivy and Warden were scaling so hard that they were able to just kind of like carry the game.
Yeah, and it's after that point that you start to see that explosion in the soul differential that we just talked about, that was just never like kept up with. It was the Ivy, the Warden, and even the Lash is worth shouting out. Citrus like kept up on farm between all three of those characters the entire game.
Okay. I can't remember if we had a third clip. Did we have a third clip, Kashi? Can you remind me real quick? No, we didn't. Okay. So I have some news though. I have the news of the giveaway winners. So if you entered the giveaway, listen up right now. So we've got 3 people that won. We have Heapakin. Heapakin, if you're in the chat, we'll contact you on Discord. We'll contact the giveaway winners on Discord. We have Death QT. And the third winner is the Hiltonator. Now, we can't find that person's Discord right now, I believe. But anyway, I'm not going to share their name because we're having some issues identifying them. But yeah, I don't want to share too much information. But we will contact you, you know, in whatever means that we have. We do have their email, so it should be fine. So, you know, maybe keep an eye on your email if you haven't been named. But yeah, those are the 3 giveaway winners. So congratulations to you guys. There's going to be another giveaway next week as well. So just to remind everybody, this was day 1. Day 1 is the seeding stage, right? This was a short day. So we've been live for what, a little over 3 hours, maybe 4 hours at this point. Day 2, which is going to be next week on Saturday, it's going to be a movie. Super long day. Starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, October 11th, okay? And it's the elimination day. So every game is best of 3. Every series is best of 3, and if a team loses, they're eliminated. And so we're casting 4 best of 3 series, and usually we know that it's going to run for 8 or 9 hours even. So it's going to be a really, really long day for everybody involved. So we appreciate your supports. Tempo and Mox, do you guys have any shout outs, any comments?
Tempo, go ahead first.
I mean, I don't really have many shoutouts. I mean, shout out all the production crew here at the Death Slam events. I mean, taking part of these events is always a blast, at least. And shout out to you as well, Deathy, for starting all of this along with the co-founders.
Yeah, I just want to say that tournament day is going to be really awesome. Like, don't miss out. Like, when you get to the semis and the grands, like, you're going to see some really insane best of 3s. And if you don't see insane best of 3s, you're going to see really good teams, like, clean up. So be sure to tune in. Like, even if you're, just learning the game, you're going to learn a lot from watching these teams. Because remember, these are players that are at or around your ranks, very likely. So these are people that you'll see in matchmaking and people that you could team up with, because you could always join the Discord and become a part of the community and learn about how to perhaps become a ringer or become a substitute or fill in or just be a part of the action. Like, there's a ton of ways to get involved. If you think that you like to play competitively, you can start to dip your feet in the water. I know it's changed a lot about how I see and enjoy the game, and I'm sure it has as well for Tempu. And it's just a really good thing to be a part of. And I think we also have some merch that we would like to shout out ourselves as well. I think if we can get that queued up while we're here at the desk, you can see we've got a new design available as well. So be sure to check that out, !merch. But it's been a lot of fun. I won't be here for the final tournament day, but I know it's going to be a great time. And Team Hero is going to put on a great show. So I hope you guys are just excited to watch it.
Yep. So I guess I'll do the final shout outs. Thank you so much to Metal for sponsoring, right? Check them out, !Metal. You can check out their website. Great software to clip your moments, and if you're participating in a tournament, I mean, hey, clip your moments with Metal, send them to us. Maybe we can make a little montage or something funny. And obviously, thank you to Corsair for the giveaway sponsorship, and thank you for everyone that's watching and has helped support us. Without you guys and without the generous community donations and the support that you guys showed me, as well as Death Slam events as a whole, this would have never been possible. We're so early in Deadlock still, and it's just a ton of fun putting on these events. So that's about it for me. Shout out to everyone behind the scenes. There's way too many people to be named. We've got like 20-30 people involved. We've got admins, casters, producers, observers, so many people, like the co-founders, we've got developers. I mean, I can't name everybody, so I'm just not going to name anyone because I feel like it would be unfair. But everybody, if you're behind the scene, thank you. And yeah, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you guys next week, October 11th, 2 p.m. Eastern. Be there.